this is the place for you. No need to complicate it, it's best to keep it basic. Open the book, the word itself approved. He's Alpha and Omega, the answer since the early ages. What you should do is learn about the greatest. Just so you know, our door is always open. Let's study together instead of debating. Share our differences, let love heal all that's broken. If you need truth, this is the place for you. No need to complicate it, it's best to keep it basic. Open the book, the word itself approved. He's Alpha and Omega, the answer since the early ages. What you should do is learn about the greatest. Just so you know, our door is always open. Let's study together instead of debating. Share our differences, let love heal all that's broken.
And good day to each and every one of you. We speak Shalom Aleichem to many of you. We speak Shabbat Shalom to those of you in the UK, those of you in South Africa, Ghana, Uganda, Mali, Sri Lanka, those of you who are in China, those of you who are over in the beautiful land of Vietnam, in the Vietnamese countries and nation there. So we want to welcome you today to the broadcast. We're going to talk about the word quite a bit, but we're going to be dealing with part 3 of a subject we've been on all week here in the proceeding word. And so let's make sure we do that. You guys can share this if you want. You don't have to, but I do want your help on an issue that has, befallen us, I think, in some level of favor. We don't want to look at it lightly, but we don't want to over hype it either. So, you guys, I think we got our program set right. I think we have, everything set in Facebook, because they tell you one thing and then they do a whole different thing. But I want to make sure that you get this opportunity to support this ministry. No, we don't want your money. However, we do want your attention. And I know time is the most valuable asset any of us have. Trust me, nobody knows it more or better than I do. But I want to make sure that everybody who's out there on Facebook, YouTube, Clubhouse, IG, who are rocking with us, moving with us, a part of this kingdom citizenship here of DKM and VWJ Ministries, we would like your help. We come on every single solitary, a lot of times. We're almost every day on Facebook or on YouTube, and they found our traffic, I guess, worthy of potential monetization. So if you wouldn't mind, it could help this ministry grow greatly without it costing you anything but a couple of keystrokes every so often when we post something on our VWJ Ministries Facebook page. And you could possibly help us do a dual thing with not just Facebook, but with YouTube, if you take this announcement I'm giving you seriously. If you're on Clubhouse, and if we can pin that up there for the VWJ Ministries on Facebook, and then pin up the VWJ for YouTube on Clubhouse, if you guys could go there, if this has been blessing you, if you keep coming back, apparently it is. So if it's been blessing you and you think that other people can learn from this, we want you to help us in this. And this is the only support we're ever going to ask of you, because the organization Facebook came to us and said, hey, in our emails, just like they did so many other millions of people, hey, y'all, we, you got decent amount of traction, so we could, give you an encouragement to stay with us, right? That's really what it is. And so what they say is that if you get enough traction and you get enough likes and you get enough, comments in your threads, it could turn into a monetized scenario. I said that like 8 times. That's what it is. So Facebook is saying it, and we're like, okay, cool, we'll do it. However, you have to, again, like our page on VWJ Ministries on Facebook. So we need you to like that page and then make comments in the threads of the live broadcasts as well whenever we post secondary external elements, just as an encouragement, or that it's Sabbath, or some form of a meme that would push something on VWJ Ministries. When you like that, if you make a comment under that, just say amen, or I like it, or whatever, or maybe heart and like somebody else's comment about it. It translates in their algorithm into potential monetizing of our page on Facebook. We really would like for you to do that. If you don't have the time, that's cool. We ain't gonna be mad at you. We just want you to know that there's an opportunity for us to actually produce a better broadcast using the funds of them who actually we're broadcasting on. So Yahweh provides. Then you have YouTube. So YouTube, we're not quite there yet. And I know I'm 12 years behind David Holland. I got to say it. David Holland told me 12 years ago to get myself ready for YouTubing. And I was too busy traveling the globe, preaching the gospel to realize I probably could have saved a lot of airfare if I would just preached on YouTube and still met them people across the globe without me traveling through airports, being exposed to COVID and all that stuff like that. But that was years ago. Some of you already have. Thank you, Karen. Some of you already have, but I'm talking to those who still come in because there's still many people who catch this in archives who are not on here that you might not see in the thread. They come on later. They're on different continents. Some of them are asleep right now. When they wake up, they'll play the reviews and the replays. We're on 5 continents. And so we're honored to Elohim for that. But what we'd like for everyone to know is I'm going to make this announcement for a couple of more days because it's new to me. So in YouTube, please go on YouTube, VWJ Ministries on YouTube, and subscribe to the page, as well as, make a comment on the page, and then also hit the alert bell. There's a bell there that alerts to you once you subscribe that, hey, they're going live. You're a subscriber, and it tells you when we're live. And then you can come on and make a comment. Hey, hailing from London. Hey, hailing from Sri Lanka. Hey, hailing from Vietnam. From wherever, right? From Hong Kong. We love for you guys to do that. It would be a great help to us, and it won't cost you anything but a couple of keystrokes when you're on, whether it's live or archived. So I think that that's a fair exchange, and I'm going to ask for it, because I know the value of what we give here. Many might not like it, but ultimately we all come back to that same point. Well, I ain't like his presentation, but he did tell me the truth. Okay, so there you have it. Welcome again to the direct link to the proceeding word. This is yours truly, Apostle B.W. Jones. Thanks for bearing through that announcement. I'm hoping I can have that edited out. No, I don't want to edit it out. I want to keep it on, and we're going to keep it moving and keep going right now. Hey, D. Arthur Grice, man, you've been on my heart all day, D. Arthur Grice. You and your wonderful family. We're so glad to have you. Hey, Vietnam, good to see you. She says, I delight in the Shabbat. I ain't mad at you. I'm delighting. I'm looking to get into it myself. Glad you're already in Vietnam, China, Hong Kong. We're so glad you guys are already in. We want y'all to just remember, rest in him and keep your mind focused on the word. Don't let anybody take you and deviate you to go 18 different places and all this stuff like that. Stay in the word of Elohim during the times of the Shabbat. All right, those of you who have not entered in, you Americans, everybody else in the world is in except you Americans. UK is in, so that, y'all stay in the word too. But you Americans, get your head right, prepare to enter in. East Coast, West Coast, Central Mountain Time, y'all get ready to get it. Jamaica, Caribbean, get ready to get in there, okay? And let's labor to enter in. So back to our program for what we call the proceeding word. Today we want to finish up a program called the Finding Purpose Part 3. Now, we had you guys looking into the passages of Ephesians chapter 3, verses number 7. I'm going to put this on the screen. I'll put it on our board. So those of you who are on video feed, you're going to get the benefits of having my Bible up so you guys can study with me. And we can look at the same thing at the same time. And I want you guys to understand the value of it. We want to put it in our head and our hearts to do it well. Let me put my do not disturb on because I have learned how to do that. Y'all see, I'm learning too. Y'all teaching me stuff that I didn't know. And we're going to be there. To all of our pastors, prophets, evangelists, pastors, and teachers, I love Elohim for your life. So many of you have no idea how you encourage me, even just listening and taking in the teachings. And then trying to understand them, not trying to put yourself out like you so grand and so great, but you are really trying to come into a place where you can help your life be better. And I'm going to touch on something. It's Friday, so I'm free. It's Free Friday. It's right before we go into Shabbat. So I'm going to say this and I'm going to mean it from my heart. And I hope you can take it from the place of my heart, love that it's coming in, so that you can understand it. Hey, Cuffy, shalom to you and to Bishop as well, Pastor Cuffy as well. So Sonia Cuffy, good to see you today. I want to make sure y'all understand. Listen, y'all, I need permission to say something. Y'all think I'm rambling, but I'm not. I'm just trying to put this rightly to you. I need permission to speak freely. Nobody?
You have permission.
Well, y'all know y'all not the boss of me, right? I'm just asking because I needed, the Bible says two can't walk together except they be agreed. So if you don't give me permission, we're not in agreement. But it was funnier than y'all are making these jokes. Y'all gonna have to give me some more funny emojis today. It's Friday, it's Sabbath, and we gonna do it. Thank you, Beverly Minister Phillips. Thank you, Karen Paris, for letting me speak freely. Thank you, Sonia Coffey. I see you, Shika, South Africa. Love you out there. Listen, here's the catch. You don't have a ministry. I am so grossed out with the phrase, my ministry, my ministry. You don't have a ministry. Not in the kingdom. In the church, you do. In the Christian world, you do have a ministry, my ministry, and we do this and we do that, and we feed the homeless, and we get soup kitchens, and we give out socks and knitted books bags, and that's my ministry. And my ministry is to carry the gospel to the whole sides of the world. Listen, that's church, that's Christendom. Ministry in Elohim's terms means service. Okay, well, that's my service. And even in the Torah, it says that the Levites waited on their ministry, right? But here's the catch. They had a particular function in the tabernacle that Yahweh himself, the creator of, the architect of, said, you guys, all 635,000 of you that came in here with Moshe, I want you guys to go into the tabernacle and serve it. So the people would understand when I call them to it, how it should look. So the Levites, all of them waited on their ministry. Now, you Greek theologians will always have a problem with this because you never took the Greek back to the Hebrew to grasp this. Instead, you kept up with the Greek word for collet and went with the ecclesia. We're the called out ones. If I got a robe on, or I got a cross under my pec, or I got a collar on my neck, or I'm walking around with a pontiff's grill on my head, then I am one of the chosen ones, and you got to be ordained to do this, and you need to have oil put on you, and 18 men have to put hands on you and lay on the altar and then tell you, and we're good, and then we can put you up and all that. No, that's not the choelet. That's not the ecclesia. So you don't have a ministry because you're doing a professional version of religious propagation. Don't mix that up for ministry of the kingdom. Y'all okay with that? I'm going to request I know I asked for a lot today. I asked y'all to do your little keystrokes. Well, this is when you give the keystrokes. I didn't know, maybe y'all might not have known that when you get little things like that irritate you, like he just said that, I don't like how he said it. This is when you give the keystrokes. Thank you very much. Okay, cool. Clubhouse, you can actually give an emoji and a thumbs up or a mad face. It don't matter. I'm going to say it anyway. So here's the catch. Stop thinking, and I know it's hard to because I had to as well. When I came into Christendom back from my journeys trying to find myself, when I came back into Christendom with a perspective from the Torah about how Yeshua lived, what the disciples did, what the prophets did, how the apostles after Yeshua went about establishing Elohim's kingdom in the earth, how he left it to Moshe to establish his kingdom in the earth. The ministry was not about serving the people. Catholicism got you serving the people. When Yahweh said he has a ministry for you, it is your service to him. Well, Mr. Apostle man, isn't that what ministry is? So if with ministry to him, he wants us to save people. He never told you to save one person. You ain't strong enough. You ain't big enough. You ain't bad enough. You ain't smart enough. Sorry, not you. I am not strong enough. I am not smart enough. I am not anointed enough to save one single solitary, potentially damned soul that has the potential to be not damned if they know the truth of Elohim salvation. Your ministry is not to save people. Your ministry is to stay in the path of his righteousness, to propagate his kingdom. When people see you walking in righteousness, they have a different path, seeing how much they're struggling over how your path seems to be a bit clearer, will come and say, hey, how are you missing all those obstacles? Hey, how are you getting back up every time you fall over that obstacle? Hey, how is it that you're seeing clearer on your path and I'm always having to wait till I get up to the sign to read it, and you're seeing it from a distance and you're not wasting time, and every time I turn around I get to this rest stop, you're already out of the rest stop. How do I do like you're doing? See, that ministry, that is you serving Elohim. How do I serve Elohim? By admonishing myself to do his will for me. Others will see what I am doing. Others will, if I'm doing right, because they're going to see if I'm doing wrong and tell me about it too, right? So I'm just using me as an analogy. I'm not pushing me up. I'm not bragging about that, none of that, because I'm a mess from the floor up to the store, down the street, and then back around to the bank. I'm just all. So anyway, when people see you in your ministry, it is not you saving people all over the world. It is you living for the kingdom, and people seeing you live, asking you questions about how you're having more success, or how you're having a bit more ease, or how you're having a bit more of a enlightenment about how things should be in life. And then they may say, look, can I hang out with you for a while? Man, you sure can. Ma'am, you sure can. Bruh, you sure can. And now, hey, well, what about this? Text him. Hey, what about that? Hey, call him. Hey, what about that? Well, listen, we're going to be talking about that tonight. You want to come by and listen? I mean, I'm going to be sitting there sharing with some other people. You're more than welcome to join in. That still doesn't give you ministry. The ministry is you serving Elohim with your life and your actions. People see your service to the Father. People see your service to the Father. People see your ministry to the Father, and they will say, what must I do to serve him that way? Can I help y'all understand what it means to have a ministry?
Help me.
Yeah, it is that part. So when you talk about, God has called me to do this, and God has called me, I was talking to a very beloved person the other day after talking to some other pastors and leaders, and we were all sharing about the same thing. But this one beloved person I talked to later, she has says, well, I know I said it wrong. And I'm like, you know what? I know her heart. She does not mean to say that way. However, it's the way we've been nurtured in Christendom. And y'all know most of what we do is inside of the construct of Christendom, learning the truth, turning on the lights from the darkness we've been in while selling the light. Because some of us sell the light and never turn the light on. Oh, that's a quote. Whoa, my goodness. I wish I had some folk. That's a keystroke moment, y'all. Like, wow will be here. Just 3 keys. Wow. W-O-W. You hit the second one twice. So it's wow. Keystroke that for me, please. Because many people who are selling the light don't turn the light on themselves. I guess we feel that if we open the package, then the people we're selling it to might not want it. So we sell the light packaged, but we don't cut the light on ourselves. And sometimes in selling it to the person in the package, we can't see, and we miss their bag when they're at the cash out register, and they still don't get the light you sold them because you didn't cut the light on yourself to see where to put it in their lives. Man, that's good. That's another keystroke. We got keystrokes. Nobody. Okay, let me put a keystroke on. Maybe I can get some help here too. I'm just going to write in keystroke. I am having fun today. And yes, I'm in my humorous mode, and you're going to have to deal with that for the next 30 minutes. So we're still talking about finding purpose, conclusion, part 3. Remember, man can't live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yahweh or Elohim. It does not mean man can't live by bread alone. Man lives by the Bible. That's not what it means. The word of Elohim are the instructions found in the Bible. And then when you understand the instructions part of the Bible, he will give you narratives, reports, and storylines, testimonials of how people who obeyed that word fared. And then how people who disobeyed that word, how they fared. And that is where we either overcome by the blood of the Lamb, which is in the word, prophesied by the Torah, and the word of our testimony, which are the other testimonies after the Torah of how people did or did not obey the Torah. That's how we overcome. So if I see someone didn't obey the Torah in Chronicles, or if I see someone who didn't obey the Quran in the prophets, or I see someone who did not obey the Quran, the Torah, I say Quran, the Torah in the Brit Hadessa, in case that was a miscue out of my tongue, and I think for some reason my brain, let me pause for a second. I think somewhere in my brain may have said the Quran. I was not saying the Quran. I'm not dissing the Quran, but I was saying Torah. And I don't know why I feel like Quran came out of my mouth, but if it did, I want to clear that up now. I'm talking about the Torah, first 5 books of the Bible. That's the word of Elohim. That's the power of Elohim. That's the plan of salvation. That's the kingdom's edict. So for those who obeyed the Torah, you see the stories that becomes their testimony about their relationship to the Torah. They succeeded or they failed. That's how we overcome. So when I see somebody fail obeying the Torah, I should take that in hindsight and say, yeah, I don't want to do what they did. Now, in duality, on the flip side, if I see someone like Yeshua and primarily him and Moshe who obeyed the Torah and see their success from obeying the Torah, then I, like Paul says, I want to mark them that walk uprightly. And I want to do what they did. That's why you sing the song in Christianity, though not many understand it. I want to be like Yeshua. Sorry, you read it this way. I want to be like Jesus. I want to be like Jesus. How I long to be like him. That's what you want to be. But what Yeshua was, what you want to be, is what Yeshua did. He never disobeyed the Torah. He always honored the Torah. He always delighted in the Torah. He kept the Torah. He said to us what he did to Elohim. If you love me, word of Elohim in me, then keep the commandments I have given you. Yeshua told us when he came on the earth, I didn't come to destroy the instructions Yahweh gave to humanity, nor to talk negative about the prophets who kept propagating the instructions Yahweh gave to humanity. I came to show you how to live. I need somebody just type it in and say, just walk it out. Just walk it. I know it's a secular song, okay, but some of y'all in Sabbath already. But just put it in there if you got a keystroke in here. Just walk it out. Because that's what Yeshua came to show us how to do. Walk out the Torah. Walk out how the instructions are done. Because somebody said before Yeshua got here, we can't obey these instructions that God brought down and gave to Moshe. They're too hard. It's just too difficult. And Yeshua was like, nah, it's easy. The prophets were like, nah, you can do it. Moshe was like, listen, just stop doing what you thought you should do and do what the word now says we are to do. That's what that was about. So what's that got to do with finding my calling? I'm going to get there in just a minute. But you can't get past this point. Finding your calling will make you have to forsake the ideal you've been nurtured under that says you got a special ministry. Your ministry is singing to the church and by the choir. Your ministry is playing the keyboards or the bass or the drums or the saxophone to the church. Your ministry is preaching from a pulpit behind a rostrum, sitting with a bunch of pulpiteers, flooding out the chancellery and looking all deep. That is not your ministry. Elohim's ministry for every single able-bodied servant. Watch. All of us born into this world, birthed into this world, we are all able-bodied ministers. The word minister in its core from Elohim and his kingdom indicates service. When Yahweh made humanity, he made man because he did not have a tiller of the ground. Your ministry, to till the ground and have dominion over it, which is your ultimate seat, you must obey the instructions of he who created you to till the ground. Me obeying the instructions of Elohim in this earth allow me to go back to tilling the ground, because all I am is dirt filled with some water, comprised and proportioned and equationed by Elohim's engineering, mathematics, and arithmetic. And that's how you have this flesh that we overdress and overadorn and think it's more special. We are just dirt. We are only ground. Everything you and I have, every flesh that we eat, whether you eat beef or steak, which is the same thing, a turkey or chicken or fish, all of it is some form of mud comprised in Elohim's hands. So when you come into this earth and you obey his words and you live out his commandments, you're tilling the ground. Guess whose ground you're tilling? Yours. Oh, wait, that means that when I obey his word, he put me in the earth to have dominion over it. And when I'm walking in the way he has said, I am in ministry. Now, we have monetized ministry in modern day to say, if you look attractive, if you sound articulate, if you can move a crowd, if you have some Greek word charisma, you are able to move people and get them to follow you. Forget whether or not they believe in what you're teaching, but if you make it sound good to their natural problems and issues and struggles and their upsetness and their PTSDs and help them get through their psychological issues by using portions of the Bible, then you, sir or ma'am, are in ministry. That's how we monetize it, but that's not kingdom. Can y'all just give me another keystroke and say that's church? Just another keystroke. I'll do it because I know I don't want y'all to do what I want to do. That is church. I'm going to spell church without an R. That's church. So when you actually obey the Torah, understand the words of Elohim, you're tilling the ground. You're going back to the purpose for why humanity was created. And if humanity ever gets back to why it was created, now that does not mean we're going to go back to digging holes in the dirt. We're talking about you. We're talking about your neighbor. We're talking about your mother, your father. You're talking about your offspring. We are to till that ground at this point because we done messed up things with the knowledge of good and evil. We have saturated in our psyche due to our forefather Adam, which Yeshua came so that he could offset our forefather Adam. And he was the second Adam. So therefore he works and walks in innocency. So what he did different than our daddy Adam, which is what makes him the second Adam, was he actually obeyed the word of Elohim not to eat the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, which means he obeyed the word of Elohim unto death. Adam didn't obey the word of Elohim. We got sold into sin. The second Adam did obey the word of Elohim, and he gives us the option for freedom. Once we understand that, we realize that Yeshua didn't come to save the world. His actions and demonstrations gave those who wanted to get out of the bondage we were sold into a way out. And then he died on the cross, according to prophecy, which came from the Torah, by the way. And I don't care what faith system you talk about, they all reference something that took place in the Torah about the death of a lamb, a savior. Some called him an omen, some called him a redeemer, some called him a prophet. But in the end of the day, what Torah had indicated to the rest of the world, who some picked and choose what they wanted to utilize, no matter what the systems are, I will not come for them, but they all deal with the savior. They all deal with an omen. They all deal with a prophet that would come and deliver the people from the condition of its wickedness and its evilness. And that came when Adam opened the door by disobeying the instructions not to eat the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Messiah came to do that job better. By doing it better, we follow him. I want to be like Jesus. Y'all gonna get it. I want to be like Jesus, because Jesus was not like Adam. Jesus, Yeshua, was made like Adam, but he did not do and disobey like Adam. So when Yeshua came on the earth, he is now known as the second Adam. He had the word in him like Adam had the word in him. He obeyed the word, contrary to Adam, who disobeyed the word. And now we have the choice. You have to choose this day who you will serve, your granddaddy Adam or the second Adam that came to be your deliverer, to be your comforter, to be your counselor, to give you an argument to get out of the bondage you actually had nothing to do with. But you still have to choose. You have to do something to come out of it. Am I helping anybody, or should I just stop talking here and now? Here and now, I promise to love faithfully, faithfully. Yahweh, you're all I need. Starting here, starting now, I believe. Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. I zoned out. Y'all forgive me, but that's just proof. When I get secular songs that pop into my head while I'm talking about Elohim's word, those are confirmations for me that you need to understand. His word is what we are to believe. And Yeshua HaMashiach demonstrated the word's obedience better than the first Adam. Thus, he's called the second Adam. And watch this. Yeshua's ministry was not to save the world, though that ultimately became the result. His ministry was to come in the earth and obey Elohim. Oh my God! He just broke the internet again. They keep repairing it faster than I can break it. But if you listen to that, y'all, I'm gonna say it again so y'all can get that. I'm gonna say it again so you can get it. When Yeshua came into the earth, he didn't come to save the world, though the results of his work saved and gave us the vision of how to be saved in a world. Yahweh's intention was that, but Yeshua didn't come to save the world. He came to obey the instructions of the Father, whose instructions were to save the world. So your ministry is to be like Yeshua. Just obey what Yeshua said. Remember, because Yeshua, he didn't come to save the world. And the world he came to rejected him. He was like, yo, they're getting on my nerve. Father, do I have to die for Bobo the clown over here? Do I have to die for Idra over here? Because they getting on my nerve. They don't even understand why I'm here. I'm just doing what you sent me to do. That's Messiah's business. That's his ministry. My first ministry is my home. It is. Your first ministry is to till the ground of your house. Make sure it's right. Half of y'all running around the world trying to preach a gospel sold in a box. You don't even activate in your own home. Excuse me. Let me say it this way. Your own damned home. I said that. Let me put my feet on the ground. There you go. So I want you to understand the ministry that you keep thinking you got because of the nurtured religiosity we have all been born into isn't the kingdom's identifier, isn't the kingdom's intention. The kingdom's intention is that when you get the word in you, it tills your ground. People see how fruitful your ground looks. Why you think it always says that they who bear fruit? Well, that's your ministry, to make sure you are constantly rooted and grounded, planted by the rivers of water. And when you do that, other trees, other individuals, other human beings will see how you are always robust and bringing forth beautiful, vivacious fruit. And they're like, hey, I want to park next to you. Come on, there's enough room. Come on. There's room at the cross for you. There's room. I just took that way into some place that I messed somebody's church religion up. I know I just did. So you got to understand that when you and I work like Yeshua worked, we come to do his will. The problem with that is that we come and we get caught on this wheel, W-H-E-E-L, instead of getting caught on his W-I-L-L. I'm going to say that again. When we came into this world, we got caught on the wheel of religion. It round and around it goes, and we just keep moving with it, and religion keeps turning. But the wheel, W-H-E-E-L, is not the will, W-I-L-L, of the Father. And when we first come into this purpose to follow his will, you can't learn his will if you were born into the wheel. The wheel then keeps you moving in different sprockets, keeps you moving, and you keep rotating and bumping your head and bumping your head. Now you're on top, now you're on the bottom. Now you're on top, now you're on the bottom. Started at the bottom, now we here. Making songs up just at the top of your head, don't even know what you're saying, on the wheel of religiosity. And once you actually stop the wheel from going round and round, making you dizzy, making you completely not conscious, you're halfway lucid, and you stop and say, Father, what is your will for me? Because this wheel keeps me dizzy. Y'all not gonna talk to me? Y'all not gonna act like y'all just got some of the most prolific stuff you've heard in a long time? Okay.
Keep it going.
And no, this is what we can understand. Yahweh wants his will done. So what does Messiah do? Messiah said, look, y'all, I didn't come to show you. Listen, I didn't come to do away with the will. I did not come to do, look, Matthew chapter, what is it? Matthew 5:20, is it 5:17? I think it's Matthew 5:17. I think it's not Matthew 5:17. He comes on, he says, I did not come to destroy the instructions of the Torah. Somebody shout the will.
The will.
W-I-L-L. Can I get a keystroke? Can I get a keystroke? I'm pushing it. I know I'm pushing it, but can I get a keystroke? Say that's the will of Elohim. He says, I didn't come to destroy the Torah. I came to show you how to live it. Oh, so the wheel, W-H-E-E-L, I've been on of religion and being religious to a people trying to galvanize me around their vision and galvanize me around keeping the building up. I'm doing all of that, but I don't know his W-I-L-L. But while I'm on the W-H-E-E-L, it talks about the W-I-L-L, but the W-H-E-E-L, it just keeps moving, just always doing something. Therefore, in Christendom, we do 1, 2, 3.
Way too much. Way too much.
The wheel just keeps going round and round, and we just keep bypassing the will. The wheel keeps moving, and we bypass the will. We're looking at the wheel while we move around and rotate around it, and the wheel has not moved one iota. It's the same yesterday, today, and forever. Y'all know that's deep. Okay, so that's how you live. Man lives by not bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth, the will of Elohim. So Messiah said, I didn't come to destroy the Torah, the will of Elohim. I did not come to destroy the Torah. I came to show you how to live it. So that means that they weren't living the will, though they had the will. They were not living the W-I-L-L, though they had the W-I-L-L. They were operating apparently on a W-H-E-E-L of humanity's understanding from the knowledge of good and evil. So Messiah comes to say, guys, we're doing it wrong. Here is what the will of him is, the Torah. This is how you're supposed to operate in his will, not the way they got y'all running around here like chickens with your heads cut off and going around in circles like gerbils on the wheel and not going anywhere. So I didn't come to destroy the Torah. I came to show you how to live it, because the way you're doing it ain't the way he intended it. And we know it's the first Adam's fault. So the second Adam is going to come and show y'all how it works for real. So the ministry of Yeshua HaMashiach, watch this. You want to know your purpose? The ministry of Yeshua was not to come and save the world. The plan of Elohim was to use Yeshua to save the world, but the mission for Yeshua was to obey the will of the Father. The things you see me do, they are my Father's words. The things you hear me say, they are my Father's words.
All right. Amen to that.
That's his ministry, to do the Father's will. You know how many people he irritated? Can I use this word? Can I say something from the world, y'all, without getting talked about like a bad person?
You can say it.
Thank you. I got a brother's voice today. Yeshua did stuff that pissed off the religious people.
100%.
And he's called blasphemous. Why? Because he wasn't there to save them. He was there to show them how salvation looks in their actual compliance or their rejecting of it. Salvation could be theirs. Messiah came in his mission, his ministry, to do the will of him that sent him. Why do you think the Garden of Gethsemane was such a significant thing? Father, I know your will for me. Right now, I'm feeling a certain kind of way. Is there any clause in the will for why I am living that gives me the right to override you by not dying for these people in these next couple hours? Because I ain't feeling it right now. This is why I've learned to really be careful of my feelings and look to filter my feelings through the word, because like Yeshua in the Garden of Gethsemane, I have to ask the Father, I don't really like this person. I don't like the way they act, but you like them. So since I love you and my ministry is serving you, I'm going to like them because you don't want them to perish. And if they try me again, I ain't Jesus. I'm going to use these hands and they're going to be laid out. So is there a clause in here that when I'm feeling some kind of way that I might want to do that gives me the right to override your will and that I can push them on this wheel up the road? But can I do what I want to do here? And the will of Elohim says no. The will of Elohim says exactly what you are to do. So what does Yeshua do? He says, I've read through the will for my life. I know the ministry serving you that I'm supposed to do. I'm at the point. It's time to glorify your son in me. However, can I postpone this for a second or two? Because I really don't think most of them deserve what I'm about to do. So I don't want to do it that way right now. Is there any place in this will I can interject mine? This is how we know he said that, because his actual quote goes, never the lesser of the two wills, yours that I know of and mine that I'm trying to impute, never the lesser of the two wills be done. Your will is why I'm here. My will is existing, but I don't want, and my will is less than your will. Your will has a greater purpose. I'm here to serve you. And I know my will's going to serve me. And I've never fought you like this before. But is there a way, is there a clause in your will that allows my will to rise up to the equal platform of yours and then perform my will over your will? Nevertheless, when you search it out in your HR department, when you search it out with Adonai, when you search it out with Ruach HaKodesh, don't let the lesser, because I do have a right to choose, don't let the lesser of these two wills, mine and yours, be done. And mine is the lesser. I'm clear about that. Yours is the greater. Y'all never saw that Garden of Gethsemane that way, did y'all?
Yeah, that's amazing.
So, your ministry is to serve the Father, not your church. Did y'all know that? Can I take it back down and break it down? You want to find your purpose? Your purpose is found when you fill your life with Elohim's word and you walk that out. You will be led by him to the job you should do in the earth. That's right, Apostle, man. The Holy Spirit lead me and tell me what I'm supposed to do. And I've been called to this and I've been called to that. You've been called into life, which he gave you, which is successful when you use the fuel that made you, his word. That's what you've been called into. Oh, that sounds deep, but we called to do, we've been called according to his will. Well, his will for humanity is to till the ground. It hasn't changed. Can someone point me to any passage in the Torah, the Brit Hadashah, the Tanakh, the entirety of the Bible? I don't care if you use the Apocrypha, which y'all please stop thinking that because the Apocrypha exists, that you're missing something in it. It's all just good storyline. Do not let that become the narrative for your salvation. That's ancillary stuff. That wasn't complete. Which is why the scholars, some with malice and some with just pure curiosity and accountability, said none of these additional writings have completed endings. They have no amen moments to them. So they should be removed, though it's okay to read them, because these are all completed books in this new King James 66 authorized version of a myriad of people who read this book, i.e. the Apocrypha, but have been left dangling on the edge because certain books don't have an ending. So while I'm reading the writ, I'm understanding what Elohim wants for life. If anybody can find for me through any of the writings I just said or others where Elohim's will for humanity changed from the one he wrote in Bereshit chapters 1, I'd like to know. The ministry of humanity is to till the ground. It's called Adoma, which you were made from. So when you, a living, sanctioned entity in the earth, have been asked to go forth, it has to have an instruction of where it's going. You sit with him in Shabbat to get the instructions. They may not come, well, he told me to go left, he told me to go right. No, they're going to come from you just sitting there and absorbing his word. And whatever you're absorbing, Yahweh will find a way to make it a resource that is recyclable in your life to give you direction and lighten your pathway. See, the thing about lighting your path, I was talking to a great young man earlier this week too, and I don't want to put this out there in the wrong way, but you got to understand something. The reason that you have, in fact, a light is to guide you in darkness. Can I help save people stop bumping against the bed post at night or the bureau footer at night, or bumping your toe on the wall because you didn't see what was on the floor, or the ottoman or the extended recliner you jumped out of before you declined it? Can I help y'all stop bumping your toe or your shin in the middle of the night? Can I help you Christians stop bumping your toe in the middle of the night?
Yes, sir.
Please help us.
That's a keystroke. Yes would be good, or okay, or no, I don't want to hear about it. Just a keystroke. Okay, let's go. You ready? The light is not for you to give to somebody else. Where my brother Eugene at? My brother Eugene on here? Eugene, you here? Brother Eugene, is he here?
No, sir.
I don't see him either. All right. Brother Eugene is a really cool guy. I really like him. And constantly trying to learn and grow in grace. But we were having a very good conversation. I want to make sure his name is associated to this so that you realize that we don't do plagiarism or anything of that nature. But I want to make sure y'all understand this, because he was talking to me and I was sharing with him what it looks like. He's like, oh man, I never knew that. So I want y'all to catch this. When you are considered the light of the world, Can somebody ping Eugene in here? Because I want him to hear this. When you are considered the light of the world, let me ask a question on the platform. We're talking about finding your purpose. I'm going to help you. I promise you this ties right in. We're almost done. Can someone tell me, what's that mean to you to be the light of the world? I just need two people. Say your name, and I'll pick you to speak. Does anybody have an idea of what it means to be the light of the world? Brianna?
I think it means to live the way Yahweh wants you to live, and then, like you always say, people see it, or they just see it through you living His word out.
Okay.
And seeing the success of that. Okay.
So being the light of the world, and her this description means that. Somebody else have a way that we've been taught within Christian about what being the light of the world means? Lindo, go.
I would say to be that, pretty much what you said, to be that example that, you know, the way you walk, the things you do, and the way you represent reflects His word and His will and what you should, you know, if you're walking in that way.
Okay, good. You two have sort of kind of a clause and an excuse because y'all didn't fall for the church okie doke most of y'all years. Brianna came straight in. She's right in doing this. You have also been one with great patriarchy, teaching you differently. I want to talk to the Christian people. To be the light of the world, we were told you got to go out there and preach to the world and save the world. That is not your job. Never has been. To be the light of the world means the light is in you. You are in the world. But you also have in this whole world, your world that you live in. One of the things I learned in inner city living, every 4 blocks, basically, and on average, is a whole new culture. So 4x4 blocks 4x4. That's a lot of space, a lot of people, whether you realize that in inner city with high rises and what have you, in stores and mom and pop stores. Within every 4 blocks, you can have a Jewish community, a Russian community, a Dominican community, a Mexican community, a Puerto Rican community, a African-American community, a Haitian community. And within a certain 3 mile, 5 mile radius, you can have all those cultures compacted into 4 blocks. So you can leave a 4 block radius of yours and then end up in Mexico, end up in Cuba, end up in some great country from the continent of Africa, end up in Jewish territory, end up in Italian territory, right? Every 4 blocks, right? So inside of the city, there's all these cultures, which are their own worlds in themselves. Listen. To be the light of the world does not mean you feeling so special because God has put His hand on you to go and tell the whole world about the Lord. That's why we're to be the light of the world. You don't put a light under a bushel. You put it on top of a bushel. Did He say the bushel went anywhere?
The bushel did not.
The bushel stayed right there to light that space because that's your world.
That's good, Apostle.
Now, when people traveling out of darkness can be attracted to that light, because the beauty of light is to help you see where you're going. Watch what King David did. Thy word have I hid in my heart that I might not sin against you. Your word in my heart are like headlamps to us in modern day to the car we drive. Let me ask you a question. Do the headlights on your car, are they turned on to benefit the car next to you on lane 2? I'm going to ask again. When you turn your car on and your headlights come on at night, are your headlights on your car designed to help the car in lane 2?
No, sir. No.
Who is the light for?
It's for you.
For yourself.
Are you going the same place that the car in lane 2 going?
Not at all.
No.
So they're in their own world, technically, and you're in your own world, technically. So you, in order to get around in your world without hitting an object on the road, you have to be the light of your world. See,
We're going to get this today.
let me help you understand this next piece. If two people, I'm going to leave the car alone. We're done with the car. Some of y'all got that. Some of y'all didn't. Thank y'all for the chats and thank y'all for the keystrokes. I want y'all to catch this. Listen closely. When you, in fact, are the light of your world, if your light is out, it's just out. If your light is on, some of us get saved and think that when the light gets turned on in us, we're supposed to go and spread our light to others in darkness. Listen, you are taught by what we've been nurtured in Christendom to do is to turn your light on. I'm not saying don't be helpful to people. I need you to understand the purpose of the light in you. It is not for you to spread it into darkness so those in darkness can come out. Listen, it is for you to stand firm, having done all to stand there for the purpose of people in darkness saying they want out, and they will come seek out DKM, the light over there. I see a light. I'm going that way because I'm in all darkness, but there is a light. There is a beacon. There seems to be hope over there. You don't take the beacon and run it into darkness. Whatever's in darkness has to want to come to the light. Do you understand that a little bit better?
Yes, definitely.
So when you are the light of the world, you are the light in your world. Now watch this. When you're traveling, once you get saved, your job is not to go into darkness to spread the light. You're supposed to be walking in your world. You will walk through some darkness while you're on the path for your life. And while you're walking through darkness, some will want to know, hey, they're getting around pretty good. We're having problems in darkness. Our eyes have adjusted to our darkness, but we still keep bumping our foot, hitting our shin on trash cans and boulders, and that's the problem. So when you get saved and you start getting the word in you, your light starts to shine. Now, let me help you, you righteous people. We're all righteous in the word. When the word begins to shine out of us like headlamps on your car, headlamps on your truck, headlamps on your SUV, headlamps on whatever you have. When the light of the word begins to illuminate out of you, watch this. The same path you would have been walking in the darkness, you'd be hitting stumps and messing up your feet. Watch. But when you have the light, it doesn't mean that those obstacles have been removed. It means you are going to see them. Now watch this. Some people think just because you got the light shining and you see the obstacle, you should still hang out with that, and you can go near to that because you see it. But remember, when the light shines on an object, it casts a shadow. See, the light lets you know an object is there. And if the object is there and it's casting a shadow, it helps you to know, stay away from the shadow caster.
Okay.
Okay.
Because in the darkness, of that shadow, something can jump out and get at you. The light tells you, hey, stay where you see no objects.
Wow.
You being the light of the world is being the light in your world. And when other people trying to fix their world see a world that seems to be illuminated and working effectively and efficiently, they will bring theirs to yours, and then you can show them how to turn the light already innately built within them on.
Come on.
I want y'all to type this in because the world been using the phrase and we messed it up. Somebody say, I want to get put on.
I want to get
put.
Y'all don't know why I say that? Yo, who put you on? Who put you on?
That way.
That's a street term.
That's a street term.
That may go over some people's head.
It went over a lot of people's head because we at the altar bending down, trying to pray, looking for napkin ministry to fall on us. Listen, stand up. Don't let it go over your head. Who put you on? Yo, let me put you on. Yo, Jimmy put me on, man. He put me onto this nice hookup. He put me onto this nice platform. He put me onto this nice meal. She put me onto this nice situation. They put you on. Who turned the light on? Who made it go click for you? That's what happens when someone in darkness comes to an area that is lit and they're like, it's less stress in this lit area. You want to be the person to put them on when they come. Can I get about 22 people, both on Clubhouse and on Facebook and YouTube, to say Darash?
Darash.
That's Hebrew for sought out. When you got tired of your darkness, you sought for light. Some will say, yeah, that's right, because we went witnessing to their door and knocking on their door. You were already in the mentality that you wanted to hear something different, because if they'd have came and you was content with what you was doing, you just shut the door, shot through the door, sucked the dog on them. When you're seeking for the light, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Now you're going to start finding your purpose. But if you take that element and that menu that's been posted all throughout the world, all throughout the city, talking about you can be this, you can be that, you can be the prophet, pastor, teacher, all that, you are just taking vacancies in an organization and you can see how it can profit you. But at the end of the day, you still don't know your purpose. You're trying to find it. You're trying to do something because you don't know what to do. And until you actually get into his word, which is his light for your life, his word will then show you what you do innately. And now that's not even your ministry. That's just something you do as a byproduct, because your ministry is to know you better. Father, who am I? You put me on this earth for what purpose? It's to till the ground. But what do I do in tilling the ground? Right now, so you can understand this in clear terms, tilling the ground, since we repurpose everything, tilling the ground is you getting the word in your dirt to get it from the contaminated condition Adam put our dirt in.
Wow.
Now you're tilling the ground. And once you become good depth of ground, Yahweh can put seed in you, and people and issues and things and beasts of the field all around you can now get good fruit because you got seed from Elohim in the good ground that has been tilled by you, because you keep yourself fueled with all the mercury, all the different elements that are needed to keep the ground pure and holy, tithed out, and good depth of ground, good, moist, deep, rich ground that can bring forth any seed that's put in it. And that will now feed everything around you. And guess what? When you are, in fact, properly tilled, all the beasts of the field come to you. That fruit don't get up. That tree don't get up and go to them. Everything in the darkness everything sitting off the horizon, everything back behind the hill, everything over past the ravine sees from a distance that tree well lit and watered and producing fruit, and they come to it. And then they take the seed of that and go back to their area. And guess what you've helped them to do? Now they got light in their area, and they're going to fertilize that tree where that seed came from to make sure that they too have the same thing you have where you are. Your job is just consistently be, as a ministry, tilling your ground with his word, and your actions carry out his instructions. Yeshua didn't come to save the world, but by ministering to Elohim as he was designed to do, serving Elohim as he was designed to do, the words of his father, doing them unto death, he planted himself. And then all the other vegetation, all the other animals, all the other entities in that region came to that tree, took from that tree, ate the fruit of that tree, and planted the seeds in their own backyards. And now it's spread. Now that light is in a district. Others beyond that district saw that, took that. Now they're going to push it. Now it's in the region. Now it's all in the nation. Now it's all over the continent. See, our thing was we thought we were supposed to go and move. Paul said, having done all, stand right there. Keep the armor on. Helmet, breastplate, shield, sword, loins, and feet shod. Just stand there. He didn't tell you to be lit up, glossed up, and move. He said, stand there. Stand right there. So that they know Elohim is. And now when you've done that, and then just like you, stand by you side by side, you have spread that well-dressed military cadence obedient to the instructions of the chief and commander. You all look like you are not to be contended with. And you ain't did nothing but stood there, properly dressed, properly lit. So will you understand that? Where's my brother Eugene? And I got to catch up with him. Did he make it up here? All right. Y'all just let Eugene know Apostle looking for him. So I want y'all to understand that's how you find your purpose. You find your purpose when you sit yourself down in front of he who made you. Going around and talking about he who made you does not help you understand your purpose in he who made you. That's my call, and I'm called to do that full time. No, you're not. I was talking to another beloved person, and I told him I'm going to use it for a teachable moment. But it's a situation where you got to realize your job is to live your life. We don't know our life because we're trying to live church. And I'm not against gathering at the church, y'all. That's not what we're talking about. Don't say he trying to mess church life up and y'all ain't supposed to go. That's not it. There is a commandment for it. But what I'm trying to explain, not to bring division, it's to bring harmony. The church works better when I know my job and I'm not being gaslighted. I'm not being hyped up into a job that's not me.
Teach, Apostle, teach.
Now I'm going to mess somebody up. I'm going to be the one who leads lives shipwrecked. Be who you've been designed to be. And the only way you're going to know that is if you sit with he who designed you. And you'll find out that you don't have a ministry of teaching the people. Adam didn't have a job, a ministry of saving the world. Well, he was the reason we ended up in sin. Yeah, but that human element never changed. Yahweh never changed the charge for humanity. The charge for humanity is and was for us to till the ground. I don't have a man to till the ground. Let us make man for that purpose. He did not make man to sail the seven seas. He made man to till the ground. In tilling the ground, reasons for sailing the seven seas would be a fallout product of the purpose.
That's deep.
Eugene is here.
Hey, Eugene, we was talking about you like you had a tail. Eugene, you there? He got a mic? Give him a mic.
Yeah, what's up?
We was talking about you like you had a tail, man.
Okay.
But it's a good tail. It's a good tail.
Okay.
I was sharing with them about, we're talking about finding purpose. And like I told you, and I want you to, you know my love for you, and my care and cover for you. But you had a conversation with us about being the light of the world. And so I took a segment from a conversation you and I had not long ago, and talking about that lighting of the world, how we were taught coming into Christendom that it is our job to go out and spread our light. Do you see that the same way now? Is he there?
No.
Okay,
I see it.
Okay, go ahead.
I just don't want to. Yeah. I don't see it the same way. I see it differently due to yesterday's conversation. When I thought it was my ministry, I thought it was about me. It was my light. Yeah, but yes, my light, but the light is for me, and then for people to see me doing the good work. So now, yeah, I see it differently because of what you have shared with me yesterday. Am I answering your question?
No, I mean, I just want you to share what's in your soul about it now, because Eugene is also a great man. He like every one of us, we got our own issues, but we have been brought up into Christendom, and we go about the work of Christendom because that's the way we were trained in Christendom. And then we just, though we come into truth, we come into this knowledge of truth, we still end up doing the defaults of Christianity. And he and I were laughing about this yesterday because we're thinking that our light is to shine the light for other people. And let me tell y'all something. And this is what, and Eugene, if you comment on this when I'm done saying this. When I was sharing with Eugene, I'm like, Eugene, have you ever noticed why ministers are burned out? And y'all can comment on this, but listen, can I get y'all to pay attention? Do you know why certain ministers are burned out? Because they're giving their light to everyone else. The light is for you. Now you, like the song say, lost and burned out. You done gave your light to everybody else. You done got lost. The light is for you, so you don't get lost. And if you keep your light on, others have some hope, and then they join up next to you. You put them on. Now your light gives all of you a better peripheral, but your focus is still based on where your light is pointed.
Wow.
Yeah, I like that too, sir.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we were just chatting about it, and I want him to develop a sermon about it so that after living it, you see, oh, this is why I'm burnt out. I'm trying to shine the light on everybody else. The only time you should be shining a light on somebody is on their birthday. Shine a light on them. Hey, shine a light on them. Hey. Yeah, it's Friday. I'm going to have fun. Y'all ain't got to like it. I'm going to have fun. Shine a light on them. Hey, it's their birthday. Where the birthday boy? Where the birthday girl? Shine a light on them. But guess what? You're just shining your light on them. Guess what? Once that moment is over, your light is back on your pathway to travel. It didn't say give them your light, shine your light on them. And that's just for the sake of saying, hey, we celebrate you. But now getting past the humor of the moment. Many ministries and ministers are burned out because you trying to do 1, 2, 3, way too
Way too much.
way too much.
Your light is for you. It's not for them. They have their own. They just need to know how to turn it on, how to fuel it. When you use your light wisely, you fall into the category of a wise maiden. If you don't use your light wisely, fuel it, clean the wick, clean the vase, clean the actual ladle, then you are using it unwisely and you become foolish. You do have the ability to find your way. Notice when the Savior came, when the heralder came, the ones whose lights were ready to go led them individually, yet 5 of them corporately gave a better light span, but each of them had their light for their particular path. And then because their paths were together, the light was wider. But the 5 who didn't have lamps, you think they went stumbling through garages and rooms and stores and trying to find, looking for, and run into, hastening to get something to make their light give them pathway? It hit different, don't it?
Very.
Your light is to shine so that they that are in darkness, tired of dark, because you know people are. Let me tell y'all something. One last thing. I'm gonna be done with this. We're done. Are y'all enjoying this? Am I wasting my time? I need to know.
We are enjoying it, sir.
Immense.
Enjoying, Apostle.
I'm enjoying it.
Let me share this with y'all right now. I was not an unhappy sinner. Listen, I had all my life being born in church, raised in church. When I finally got free of my mom's grip on my ears, which is why my ears are so big. See that? She would drag me to church 7 times a week, sometimes 3 times on Sunday. That she just pulled me to church one way or another, right? But when I finally got free of her grasp on me and I could do what I wanted to do, I clambered to the dark side. Oh, y'all didn't catch that? Why y'all think pastors' children become the most notorious once they get free once they get to their, some of them, once they get free, and you'll be surprised which of them you think still doing it right, rocking real slick, like very nefarious. So when I was free of my mother's grip and I had the right to do my own thing, I clambered to darkness. When I got in darkness, I was already practicing some dark stuff because I was only in the light because it was what my family was supposed to do. And you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that, you're supposed to do. And I would go, my grandmom's a minister, my mom's, I got uncles. And man, listen, I'm doing everything. So when I go into darkness, I'm in darkness, I am happy. I'm smoking blow, I'm snorting blow, I'm making, rock, not ready rock. I'm doing bass. I got my liquor, I got my acid, I got my blind hash, I got my red hash, I got my PCP, I got my boy, I got my girl, I got all of that. And boy is a product, it's a contraband. Girl is a contraband, not physical human. So I'm not talking about pedophilia, none of that garbage. I'm talking about, we called it boy. Heroin was called boy, girl was called cocaine. Got it? So I had all of this, I'm doing this, and I am not unhappy in my darkness. And it didn't matter how many preachers from the light invaded my space in my dark place to tell me you need Jesus to come out of it. Fine. An announcement or a commercial every so often and say, hey, the light's better. That's cool. But nah. Kept jumping in, coming in, trying to pull me out. I already know all that stuff. Bros up in the church. Get away from me, man. Get out of here. And invading people's space. So I'm sitting in the darkness. No matter how many times people came in, you became literally an annoyance to me. I'd plug my ears and smoke my joint looking at you, snort my blow, looking at you, drink my liquor, looking at you, talk, and you sound like, again, Charlie Brown's teacher. Wah, 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 wah. That's all it sounded like. I am happy in my darkness. I had a person last night. Can I give you a real story, a testimonial?
Come on, sir.
I need more than 2 people, though. Can I get that? Can I get a keystroke? Something?
Let it roll, sir.
This will bless you. I promise you it's going to bless you. So I'm happy in my darkness. I had a mother. I'm an ex-addict. I'm an ex, not a recovering. I'm an ex-addict. Cross-addicted. Ex-addict. No longer have that issue. Can I be fooled and get back into it? Absolutely. But I am freed. It's a choice you'd make to go back. I'm free. Dog ain't returning to its vomit. I'm free. Got it? Ex-addict. Yahweh alone be praised. Now here's the catch. So I'm sitting at a gas station last night dealing with an issue in my head. Y'all okay with the testimony?
Absolutely. Yes, yeah.
Because this is going to help the church moms and dads too. Now, I came into service of kingdom propagation by way of me getting free, tilling my ground with the word that got me off of cocaine, all the contraband, the heroin, it got me off of all of that stuff. The word did. So I came in helping and teaching because I was asked to ask, how did you get off? In the neighborhood I come from, I got a little bit of reputation. So they're like, if he got off, we want to know how he did it. So I'm out last night dealing with an issue of my heart, and it's bugging me to no end. And I found myself complaining. Yahweh got a weird way of making you catch yourself. And so I pull up at a place called Wawa. No, I didn't just speak in tongues. It's a great place called Wawa. Gets you fuel and some stuff. So I was going to go in and just get some fuel. As I get out of my car, I pull up. There is this melanated lady, young girl. You know, she comes up to me. She's in college age. And I'm looking at her eyes. I know they're dilated. I'm an ex-dope head, so I know what that looks like. I've been ministering this for many years. I've been doing service to people with these particular contraband issues, right? And I'm like, okay, she lit. Now, at first I thought she was going to ask, a simple question, but she's like, can you take me home? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, you can't get in my car, but I can get you an Uber. And then we start having this conversation, and I'm realizing she is completely disconnected. She is manifesting everything that I counsel. And then she starts touching my phone. I'm like, she's tweaking. Okay, some of y'all church people, tweaking mean she just doing stuff erratically, all right? Because of the substance she's on. And so I said, well, all right, you look like you high. She's like, well, I got an Uber over here to smoke. And somebody Ubered me over. Some guy Ubered me to come over and smoke. And I got an Uber to come over and smoke. He sent me the Uber. I said, well, and she's like 30 minutes outside of where she's at. I'm like, well, how'd you get here? Well, and then he dropped me off. I'm like, so you came here to smoke and then got dropped off. Here's the story. I'm not trying to be deep. Just watch. I said, listen, this ain't a good look for you. And then I said, she catches her senses, and then she's like, okay, I don't want to talk to you no more. Okay, fine. And so she walks away. I said, listen, I'm not going to have you out here suspect. I said, because if I was who I used to be and a part of the world I used to be in, your actions right here, you'd be on a milk carton. Because you're asking every man, white, black, Hispanic, whatever, to get you home. I said, how old are you? Gave me your age. I'm like, dear heart, you are far too, you got a future ahead of you. Don't do this. I said, I'll get you an Uber home. Fine. You stay right there. She did. Then she followed me into the store. I'm in the store. I go looking for, I got a sweet tooth. So I want to get a chunky bar. Y'all don't know about the chunky bar. I'm going to give me a chunky bar. I get the chunky bar, and the girl is right behind me. Next thing I know, she disappears. All right, fine. That's cool. I'm paying it slow. I have somebody on the phone, so I have a witness that nothing weird can happen. So I'm with, one of my accountability persons, and I'm like, all right, hell, yo, here we are, and I'm going to the thing to get gas. I paid for gas, and they done went up into Wawa. They done ordered a sub and got a big gulp, that's why it's 7-Eleven, but big, large drink, and then get to the counter and put on the counter and like, can you pay for this? I'm like, are you out of your mind?
Wow.
Now, y'all, I want y'all to just hear the story. Are you out of your mind? And my thing was to shock her. That's why I talked to her in that way. If she just said she was hungry, it's no problem. But I know she's hungry because she got the munchies. So I'm sitting here and she puts it up on the board. I say, you know what? Are you out of your mind? How did you ask me for this? I'm trying to bring her back. I'm trying to mellow her high out, right? Make her think. Y'all need to know that strategy. So anyway, she looks and then she looks all down and powerless. I'm not trying to control you, but I want you to know you can't do that. You're not thinking right. And I can see you do think right, but right now you're not thinking right. You don't do that to people. So I went ahead and I said, well, come on, I'll pay for it. Pay for it, Cindy. You sit over there and eat that and wait for the Uber to come. And then she starts to eat. I sit in the car, I'm down on the Uber, and then she walks over to the car. Are you going to take me home or not? I'm like, young lady, didn't I just tell you I'm gonna get your Uber? Now you acting a little bit like you got entitlement. So she leaves me and tries to get this Hispanic guy to get her home. And she leaves him and goes over to the other pump and try to get this white guy to take her home. I'm like, wait a minute, little girl. One, you're of my race. You're making our race look bad. I need you to go sit down and eat that food over there, 25 feet away from me, where I can see you. I'll sit in this car until Uber gets here to get you home. Then it hit me. She ain't in the right set of mind. I can't even trust Uber to get her home. So I said, do you have parents? Yes. Can you call your mom? No, it's too late now because you are out here about to get missing. And I'm not going to let that happen on my watch, but I can't take you in my car. But I can, if you have a parent, sit here and wait for your parent to come and get you. I'm 22. All right, fine. But right now you're acting 12. So I'm fortunate to call her mom, talk to her mom on the phone. Listen, ma'am, we need to get here. Now, y'all pay attention to the storyline. Are y'all paying attention?
Yes,
sir.
Have I bored y'all? Because I want y'all to get the point of this.
Not a go ahead.
When I get the phone number, I let them dial the number into my phone. I speak and they put the speaker on speakerphone. And then I talk to the mom. And the mother goes on to say, I said, this is such and so. My name is such and so, Pastor Jones, whatever. And I said, do you know such and so? Yes, I know. That's my daughter. Okay, great. Yeah, I got such and so here at such and so location, at such and so institution. And, they're not in a good headspace right now. And they're like, yeah, I've been going for 2 years. She said, well, ain't you supposed to see the pastor? Ain't you supposed to pray for her? I said, ma'am, this is not a matter of prayer. I can pray for this person, and this is the ignorance of Christianity. You're supposed to be able to pray her out of her high. No. If she's happy in her high and still thinking about going back and getting her high, I become Charlie Brown's teacher. Wah, 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 wah. She's got to want to be free. She's got to want the light. She's got to want to come out of her darkness.
Wow.
Do y'all get that? So you stop thinking you can see somebody stoned out their mind who's not trying to get out. Like, there are people who, like me, at one point when I did, I was like, God, if you just stop the room from spinning, I'll serve you, right? You can pray for that person. But a person who like, I'm good. I'm smoking. I want to go smoke. I just want to go home. Can I get some food? Can I get something to drink? You got some candy? I'm like, this person is completely content in their space. These are decisions they have made of their own volition. You cannot pray somebody out of their own volition. Stop it, Christians. You ain't that anointed that when you pray, they get sober. I done did this a million times since Sunday, and only those who are willing to come out and realize they've stepped over, bit off too much that they can chew, that can be effective for. Maybe when they come down off their high and they're thinking in the cognate state that they should be in, we can have a conversation, and then they can say, can you help me? Now I can pray with you. I just taught y'all something that you need to learn. So the mother's mad at me. You're supposed to pray for them. I said, ma'am, this ain't a matter of prayer. Once they get unhigh, if I can pray with you, and I can tell right now the issue is going to be where we are. So please, I'm going to wait here for with your child, your grown child, to make sure nobody takes advantage of her because she is not thinking right. This is not ministry. The ministry is me serving to make sure she does not get taken before she gets back into your care. When she got to me, finally, she then thought about it. She was like, you're right. And I said, well, I will pray with you for you to have wisdom on how to deal with your child. And I went through the whole process of what I do as a counselor, gave her a recommendation, whatever. But at the end of the day, and I do this all the time, guys, this is just one that deals with what we've been talking about those who are happy in their darkness may not come to your light. This is one of those scenarios so you can see how it works practically. You cannot just throw your prayer, your oil on somebody and expect the devil to jump out of them. If they happy rocking with the devil, them and the devil looking at you like, stay away from them. Let's go over here. Let's pick at them. Oh, you're supposed to be free. Don't do it. You crying and moaning and groaning. No, they're happy. They made their choice. You have to choose this day who you're going to serve. That's what you want to do? Okay, I'm sad that you made that choice. I'll be here when you come down to see if you want to come out of that, but I can't pray you out of that unless you are saying, I bit too much off. I don't know why the room is spinning. I can't breathe. I can't talk. Help me. Now I can pray for you. I can pray with you because you want to come out of the state you got yourself into. And most of you think that you can just talk to your children, and many of you are trying to pray for your child while they're in that state. You're pushing them further into that state. Wait for them to come out and say, Mom, Dad, I'm not acting right. Let's chat. Let's get at this. Even though you might tell them when they're conscious, you tripping, right? This is what you did that made no sense. And did that make sense? Not browbeating, not bringing condemnation, but what your choices were here have led to some serious ramifications and repercussions. Are you understanding that? Yeah, I don't know why I did it, man. Now we can talk and pray. Y'all stop thinking you can just sling oil on somebody and shine your cross from under your pec and act like they're going to be healed because you did an exorcism. That person has to want to be free. Going back to our point, testimony over. If a person is happy in their darkness, you taking your light into their darkness is offensive to them. Not that you care about offending them. Now, if you're walking your pathway and your pathway leads through a connecting joint that's hitting and parallel to their darkness, they see that light. If they like, yo, they seem to be moving better than I'm moving. I want to get in that light. And then if they get in that light and they start seeing that their steps are better because they're hanging out with you, they may say, hey, can you help turn my light on? How'd you turn your light on? I want to turn my light on like that. Here's what we do. We fuel it by the word, not the world. The world is in darkness, so you're going to be only having darkness. But if you get the light of life in you, till your ground, now you can open up. That is ministry. But note it, you're not trying to save people. Your path will cross people who need what you've been through because they're going through it. And you'll identify what they're going through, and you have an authentication with that. You have I dare say, sympathy. You have a real empathy for that and with that. And you're not throwing yourself in. That thing approached me. Do y'all understand how this works?
Yes, sir.
I do now.
For real ministry. Your job is not to try to save people. Your job is to be a light that people can come to. What chances was it that that particular girl, 45 feet away from me, saw me pull up, turn my car off with all these other people, and then walks directly to me? Oh, was it because you were melanated and she was melanated? It could be. But no, she's also going to all other different types of people for the same exact response, and you don't know what you're going to get. And I'm like, I responsibly, I can't let this continue to go on. And that's just me. I do that all over, all the time. It doesn't matter what it is. You know, people who don't have, the point of it wasn't to brag about what we did. It's to show you that that's practical ministry. This other stuff y'all talking about, you call the ministry, you call to preach to nations. No, you're not. Your life should preach to nations. You're called into the earth to do his will. When you do that, nosy nations will follow you. But if you come in for the purpose of making people follow you, you're going to leave people shipwrecked. Because what's going to happen when you fail? What's going to happen when you falter? What's going to happen when you have your prayer of Gethsemane moment and you don't have the success Yeshua had? You do let the lesser of the two wills win out and you don't die for the people. What happens when you fall, having these people follow you and you now up in your feelings, all in your emotions, and you snapping out? What's going to happen then? Oh, but you came to help the people and save the people. Now you went and you drew all these people to you because you called to do that. And now you done carried them on and life hits you in the middle of your ministry. And you fall flat on your face, or from the tower, they put your narrative behind up on. What's going to happen to the people who've been following you because you formulated a plan to build your church around you? Your job is not to minister to them people. Your job is to literally serve and minister to Elohim. And those who want the same will follow that example. And maybe you can put them on. I'm going to put you on this right here. Try this. Here's how we wear it. Here's how we put it. Here's how we speak it. But it's right here. You can get this for yourself. Take it to your house. Hold on to it. And the best way to use it is in Sabbath. Yeah, really, don't let nothing else get in. Don't water it down. Don't add no Coke. Don't add no Sprite. No Kool-Aid. Don't put no ice on it. Just drink it straight. Yeah.
Right. Come on now.
Yeah. And don't water it down. Don't do all that. So that's what I wanted to make sure y'all got an understanding of today. Did that help anybody today?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So if someone is cool with their darkness, you can't take your light and shine it. So how are most ministers and pastors being burnt out? Because the Christian and church narrative, again, not coming for the institution, just showing the issues that are making it a difficult process and template. We are thinking we're supposed to be out here and I got to look this way and I got to talk this way and I got to walk this way and I got to wear this and I got to do this. And you are burnt out. We got to go help everybody. We got to get them out the masses. We got to draw them out of darkness. You draw them out of darkness by being consistently a light where you're standing. You can't be a flickering light. Every time they turn around, they 50 miles away. They say, yo, I see a light over there on that hill. And then the light gone. Where did the light go?
That is powerful.
That is very deep. Where did the light go? Now you pop back up and you back on the hill. Yo, it's over there. And then you decide to go. They're coming from the north, looking at you, center, and then you think because of what you've been taught in church, you should go to the south and draw some other people. Well, the person who is actually being drawn by Elohim to you can't find your narrative behind because your light has now turned and you went to the south. And when they went to sleep, waking up thinking they had something that they honed in on, got their compasses locked on you, you're gone. You down south somewhere. Where did the light go? Man,
Right.
where did the light go? Sit your behind still. Having done all, put your armor on, obey the word, stand. Who is designed to be drawn to you will find you. Darash, you are to be sought out. That's your kingdom ministry. Stand with yourself dressed. Stand with your light so shining. Stand, you put the light on top of an actual holder. You don't put it under the bushel, you put it on the bushel. Does the bushel have wheels?
It does not.
Does the bushel have legs?
It does not.
So the bushel don't move.
It's stationary.
Okay.
Ooh, that's deeper than y'all.
We're gonna leave it there. We go on the Sabbath. We can talk about it more on Sabbath if y'all want to, but yeah, it's deeper than any of the noises we're hearing right now on the platform. But man doesn't live by bread alone, but every word proceed that mouth Yahweh or Elohim. Okay, I've gone over my time by 9 minutes. I think I heard Elder Rogers. Good to have you today. What's on your head and your heart?
Shalom, shalom to everyone. Just certain things just came to mind.
Okay.
The first thing, for his word is a light unto my feet and a lamp unto my path. So that is for me.
That's for you.
And, yes. And then another thing, if I leave my headlights on, I forget them and leave them on. When I get back to my car, if I'm not careful, they're going to be burned out and I'm going to be stuck. So that was just a little correlation that I got out of it by properly using and properly letting my light shine for me and my purposes.
Okay.
And that's just
let me enhance that second one for you, because the narrative could leave it that you're supposed to turn your light off in order for you to keep your light power. That is a good analogy from the technology we have today, using it in the construct of conserving the power of the light. Great point you're bringing, Elder Rogers. Allow me to enhance it with you. Is that okay?
surely. And I have one more.
So, well, okay. So we got to keep moving, y'all. So with this, I want you to understand, it's not that you have to turn your lights off so that when you get up, you can turn your lights back on. When you have the word in you, however the world changes, your lights will be reflective. So for instance, you have technology today in the world that if you leave your light on at night, your cars now have an auto on, auto off switch. So yes, when it becomes light, the lights go out. When it's dusk or dawn, the lights stay on. But when it becomes a certain amount of light, the lights go off to conserve the battery power, because in the light, man can work. It comes night, man can't work, right? So when the light is needed to be on, as it were, you are going to make your light is never going to go out, because you're always fueling from the word. The issue is you're not making your light help somebody on purpose as if that's your purpose. The light is supposed to help you. And the more you are tilling your ground by feeding it the word, that light stays on. It ain't never going to go off. Again, a consistent light. It's not a flickering light. Whether it's daylight or nighttime, it's a consistent light. It ain't always moving. I got to be about the Lord's business. I got to move. I got to go. You sit your butt still. Please get somewhere and sit down. Having done all, stand. When Yahweh says move, we all move. I got to go tell somebody. Just can't keep it to myself. That's good. That's good. That's good. But remember, your job is not to light on and shine on for everybody else. Your light is to shine. Your light is not to be given from you to someone to bring their life along. Your life is to be you. Your light is supposed to be used for your life to be an ensample of the life of success, more ease, less trouble, not a heavy burden, not a hard yoke. And then others who have heavy burdens, harder yokes, they can see their easier life in you and say, hey, how can I get what you got? And now they have been led to you. They see you from a distance. I mean, they see you over a long distance because you're a consistent light. They will migrate to that light so that they can find out how to have that light. And once they come to you and they get that light and they learn how to light their own furnace, their own lamp, their own light, they can then go back to their area and be a light there. You're still in your area. People have to seek that out. Then others can learn how to be put on. All right, Rodgers, real quick, what's your last one?
The last one was, thou shalt have no other God before me. And if we are letting our quote unquote light from our rearing and so forth and so on, and not the light of the word, then we're in a sense making ourselves to be an idol.
Real talk. One of the worst things we ever taught about in Christendom was the phrase "my ministry." So if it's your ministry, who you serving? Play on words. Some will get upset. Some will come for that. Think about it. But if it's your ministry, like this is my ministry, this is what I do. Who you serving? Your ministry is Elohim. You serve Elohim. He put you in the earth to till the ground. He never changed that narrative. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He never told humanity to stop tilling the ground, yet we do whatever from the tree of knowledge of good and evil we want. Till the ground. Can I get a couple keystrokes? Say it. Till the ground. That's what Yahweh sent you here to do. Till the ground.
Till the ground.
To the ground.
Mm-hmm. Couple keystrokes. Do me well. All right. Eugene is going to be the last person. Eugene, what you got? Talk to me quick.
Yeah, I want to go back to what you said to me yesterday. I'll be quick about it. But it was that what you just said, because I said my ministry, and man, that just sparked something in you. And you said that is one of the things that is causing me to cringe about everything that you said. And I promise you, everyone, this dude gave it to me yesterday. He's being nice, but he gave it to me, and I grew up just like that. I literally cried on the phone and choked, and I was choking. And I said to myself, man, what are you crying for? Just stop crying. And I'm like, I hope this dude didn't hear me, sniffling. But it was a shot slam in my heart, because I knew that I had put in the work of studying the light. Light is the world. And he was telling me some things, and I really couldn't answer him, and I felt some type of way. But after it was said and done, I promise you now, I went back, got the phone off with him, and I sat down, and I thought about what I read, and I began to start ministering to the walls as though they were my people that was listening to me and my father. And I'm like, man, because he said to me, you should be able to spew out words and not have any space going on where you have nothing to say. And that bothered me, because I couldn't talk to him like that. But I feel more confident and more prepared within that conversation yesterday than ever before. And I told him about me. It was a moment for me, and I knew that I grew up, and I learned that I will not put myself out there in terms of next time somebody asks me to speak, I am going to ask them, what do you want me to talk about? Why do you want me to speak? Because it is important. And I just thank you for the opportunity of allowing me to share this, man.
No, I just want you to know, because we don't, and so you don't get it twisted either, Brother Eugene. You just made me remember you said those words yesterday, but there have been in the last week since we've been dealing with this prophecy, so many people who we love and are a part of this citizenship that had been saying my ministry, my ministry, my ministry. And I'm like, Yahweh, why do people keep saying this? So by the time you said it, I had already been at the point of cringe. Okay, because I kept hearing it from a whole bunch of other people. And some people on this call right now will know, yeah, I said that to him too. And so we're not, taking what we counsel with in the course of the week and bringing it out. It's just that this is something that I know for a fact we need to understand. You don't have a ministry. The moment you think you have a ministry, you will go off doing your own thing, thinking you're pleasing the Father. And what you're doing is giving him a gift you think he's pleased with. He never told you to do that. Matter of fact, in the word, he tells you, if you love me, keep my commandments. And when you keep his commandments, guess what? You will, because you live in the neighborhood, always give to the poor, always feed the hungry, Always clothe the clotheless. Always bring someone who's been put out into your home. That ain't your ministry. That's a byproduct of your lifestyle.
Amen.
Do y'all get that? Because that's what we've established ministry behind. Remember this, the word sitka is connected to charity, but the word sitka is also connected to righteousness. It is right to care for another human, but that's not your ministry. That's a righteous lifestyle. Anywho, so when I was sharing with one of the other pastors and leaders that I love to talk with and speak with on a regular basis, we have our weekly meetings, and we were sharing, with respect to sermons. And I think, Brother Eugene, I might have tapped into it with you as well. But when you have been told in Christendom to come speak, can I help some of y'all from?
Yes.
You funny. I really want your permission to help somebody. I really do. I want to be able to help somebody, because in here, our job is to make sure that you are mature enough to have a relationship with the Father, that when people see your lifestyle, they may ask you to come and speak. Here is the catch, and this is what I've had to learn. Minister Elder Page will verify this, Apostle Walker as well. Here's what I do. Whenever somebody at this stage, because it used to be, I took every invitation that came, because as a minister, you had to get we were taught in ministry, I want some people to tell me I'm right or wrong. When you've been called a minister, your job is to get your appointment book filled. Okay.
Right.
Thank you. Your job is to get your appointment book filled every week. 3/4 times of speaking engagement you can get every week, whether they love offerings or honor your honorariums or you gonna raise offering, right? Your job is to get your speaking engagements booked so you can be here for the next 12 months. That's your job as a supposed minister, someone propagating the gospel. That's what we have been taught in the religious structure and construct of Christianity. If you a minister, you evangelist, you're supposed to get with all your churches in your organization and denomination and see which ones will have you. When you walk into a city, you should happen to be going to a funeral in another city. You can tell a part of your affiliation, hey, I'm evangelist such and so, I'm in your area. Can I come and share a word with you? Sorry, that's what we do. And you can get booked that way. Or I'm planning on coming down here in 4 months, man. I'm gonna be coming through. Can we get some dinner? Oh, yeah. Man, maybe you can minister too when you come. All right, cool. But we in. Book it, put it down. I'm sorry to be telling all these secrets, but I don't care no more. Listen, so
I love it.
This is what y'all got to understand is happening. So I think I was talking with another brother, and I think in part me and Eugene might have been talking about it as well. And it's like, you got to understand something. I no longer have been doing it. I teach every single solitary day, multiple times in a day, right? But here's the point. I want y'all to catch this. Please. I want y'all to catch this. I no longer, if I'm ever asked to come and minister, well, people know me now. They only want me to come and teach about something they heard me teach about to their congregation. When people just come up to you off rip and like, hey, man, you'll come minister at our church? Okay, cool. Like Brother Eugene said, product of our conversation was, why do you want me to come to your church? Why do you want me to come and speak to your people? Oh, man, I know you're a minister, man. Just come and bring us anything. No, don't work that way. Because I can come and tell you anything. Do you need a break from speaking? Is that it? Because if that's the case, then that's a whole different kind of conversation. But anybody who brings me into their ministry, they know what we teach and they want that taught. So therefore, if you have that going on, you are not narrating and giving to anybody what we consider to be just some words. So now if they say, hey, come and preach, and you're like, okay, cool. And then you get an idea because you're reading in the word. And then, okay, I got an idea. A, B, C, and D. That's a good thought. I could play on that. Let me go look it up in the Bible. And then you start looking it up and you're looking around and you're developing a sermon and you're taking down your notes and you're writing those notes down. Y'all gonna hear this in a minute. You're writing those notes down. And now you got a speaking engagement in a month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. And then when you get there, you got to rely on your notes to talk that message to them people, because that note ain't you. Until those notes become you, you have nothing to say.
Wow.
So no matter what I'm studying today, y'all don't know the things I'm studying behind the field. Sometimes I let y'all in, but by the time you get a sermon from me, I've been living it 6 to 8 months, maybe even a year before I even speak about it.
Come on, Apostle.
Because I gotta know its ups, its downs, it's false plates, it's sure things, it's area where you can slip if you're not careful. You say the wrong thing, you will irritate a certain other group of people. You have to know that you got to cover all angles. And until you've lived the idea you thought you got as a revelation, you got to search that thing through the writ. Why do y'all think I keep telling y'all filter every thought you have through the word? Because I know anybody listening to this kind of ministry, Darash Kingdom Ministries, VWJ Ministries, our job is to cause you to grow in Elohim. And when you grow in Elohim, people are going to come and eat the fruit from your tree. Your fruit got to be good. It's got to be right. It's got to be wholesome. It cannot have pesticides on it or preservatives making it look like it's worthy.
Come on, Apostle.
Amen.
I'm sad only 2 people came off mic on that. Y'all hurt my heart right there.
Amen, bro.
Amen. Amen. Don't be want to make too much noise.
So if you haven't lived this, you have nothing to talk about. Oh, well, I get it. I see it. I conceive it. I see the idea. In theory, I understand it. I don't care about your theory. You don't preach your theory to people. You preach your testimony to people. And it don't mean you tell them how you fell, when you fell, who you fell with, what you did in the falling. You speak about it from a sense that you filtered the failure or the success through the writ, and you can tell the people the writ is right because this is what happened and this is how I know. And you don't, now when you start to talk to people, I can't, most people be like, Apostle, how do you teach? And every time I see you, you very seldom use notes. Very seldom do I use notes. If I use notes, it's because I got so much of a testimony to share. I got to stay on point because I can get lost on one point and we can be 2 weeks into that. I got to have something to pull me back to the next segment of the testimony. That's why I use notes. Most people use notes and they put it in a book and then they lay it down in a book so they can come back to you and then tell you that. They haven't lived it, though they talk about it. Now they think because they talk about it, they've lived it. You think because they talk about it, they've lived it. But the truth is they have a book of sermons and they open it when they want to share something because that's how you get paid. Sorry, not sorry.
Ooh, you heard that passion? I'm a hush.
Do y'all understand this?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you have to look at your notes to share your sermon,
Yeah, that's a problem.
I am not against you trying to keep your sermon in order because some people are big talkers, super big talkers, and don't know how to stay on point. I'm all for you having something that keeps you bulleted to stay on point you're trying to make because you only got a 30-minute, 45-minute, 47-minute window to speak through. If you're doing programs like me, you got to have, and that's why I love the autonomy. You have programs like me, I can do what I want to do. But if I have somebody on program and I ask you to speak, you got a certain window to hit. So have your stuff in order. You can use notes for that. So I want to hit this bullet point. I want to hit this bullet point. I want to hit this bullet point. The theory, the concept of sermonic render is about bullet points. What you put in between those bullets is completely different. So you have to use bullet points to stay on point, to keep it on the course and the vein of your conversation. But if I'm seeing somebody render a sermon and they flipping through their notes trying to figure out You don't know your message. Wait a minute, let me go over here and get it. I gotta find it. I gotta find it. Every now and then, cool, but when and so right here, the definition for finding purpose, and finding is spelled FINDING. You need to tell me that, bro, from your notes.
That's a bit much.
You gonna tell me you haven't seen that?
I was about to say it happens.
Because they're feeling through it. Oh, it was just the nervous knots. No, you are not nervous if you know your content. When I see somebody get up behind a rostrum in the pulpit, and I've been invited to come to it, and they tell me, "Oh my God, I'm so nervous. I don't know what to do." I get you having nerves, because I don't just come at y'all and speak because I think I'm so powerful. No, I'm nervous because I don't want to say the wrong thing to Elohim's people. And I want to make sure my thoughts stay collected and connected, right? That's why I get nerve knots, because I'm saying this in front of my Father to his children. And woe unto me if I lead his children astray. That's why I'm nervous. But my presentation, it's my life.
Correct.
If you know what you're talking about, you get past your nerve knots after about 2 or 3 breaths, whether people say amen or not, and whew, it comes out of you because it's you.
Amen.
But if you're nervous all the way through your sermon, dear heart, you don't know it. It ain't you. So technically, you perpetrating a fraud from the pulpit. And the perpetration of a fraud is lying.
They can't take this person.
Man don't live by bread alone. Man lives by the proceeding word. That word got to come from, it's got to proceed from you, because you've lived it, you failed with it, you've succeeded with it, and that multiple times. You saw the way you're supposed to handle it. It was too hot to handle it that way. You got to learn how to handle it now. You know when to pull it out of the oven, when to put it back on the stove, when to place it on the plate and for the plate. And now you've learned how to demonstrate this in a proper presentation to the people, and they can appreciate and value it. You ain't did all that. If you ain't done all that, sit down. Go sit down. You just there to get, you are a profiteer. Well, I went to school for so many days, and you're still using the same notes from the same commentary that you found that got you your A, and that's the same thing you talking about, but you never freaking lived it. Miss me with that. Because most of you, if you ever understood, if you've ever been a minister, my first time experiencing that, and my apostle sat me down, and she didn't have to rip me a new one, as we say. She told me flat out, she says, now, I went through something after I preached a certain message, talking about patience. I was young in ministry. And I was a speaker secularly for corporate companies, managing, teaching managers, customer service guru, understood how to present, make it through a moment, keep working, even though everything went wrong, still keeping and presenting in right front. So I was good with articulation. I taught a message on patience because the group I was with, one of the auxiliary ministries, wanted me to teach because I could be articulate. And they're like, we don't talk like you talk. Oh, won't you preach? Okay, fine. So I started to teach. And one time I taught really good and it was really cool. But then the next time you should get filled with yourself. And now you're just pulling topics to have a catalog. Am I telling too much? You start pulling categories. You start pulling stuff to have a catalog and finding topics and seeing what's trending. And going to talk about it. So I decided to talk about patience. Didn't have near a drop of it. But I'm talking about patience from the Bible. People saying amen. I'm moving the crowd like Eric B. and Rakim. I'm putting it down. And it sounds good. And I got off that pulpit. Those next 2 weeks, I lost my cool. countless times, to the point where had me standing in front of the principal's office, my own apostle, T.R. Malone. She says, get in here. And she says, you remember this message you taught back when? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, that's exactly what's happening to you. So where is what you taught manifesting in your life right now? Y'all ain't got to say nothing to me. I'm going to put my life on blast so y'all don't make the mistakes I did.
I be trying to be quiet.
And she says, so you preached, and she took notes. That's the one thing I love about my apostle. Nobody under her ministry, she does not listen to that ministry with you while you deliver it and prepare it and then talk about it with you later to make sure you understand. You want to be careful here. You need to go there. Not judging, just making sure they polish you. So the things I went through and what I was sat in front of her for the allegations that I was under by some of the other people and things that had taken place and my own saying, I want to talk to you. She says, okay, well, here's the deal. And I started talking to her and giving her my story. She's like, okay, remember this message you preached 2 weeks ago? And yeah. The people loved it. They did, didn't they? She said, so did you demonstrate any of these points you made to them in the situations you just told me about? You told me, not the other people. You told me why you needed to come and talk to me. Did you demonstrate any of your preached points in your practical life? Y'all see why I love my apostle T.R. Malone? And I will fight y'all about her.
Nugget all in itself.
I'm still bothered. There's only 2 people, but you know what? It's cool.
I don't know what to say. I'm too busy.
It's a speechless moment.
Hey, it's hard to talk if your mind is blown.
It be so wild and raw.
How much of your message 2 weeks ago have you put into your life that's got you in here pulling your, I had hair then, pulling your hair out, crying the blues about this and complaining about your wife, complaining about your job, complaining about this, and people complaining about you? Where is your patience? Where's the patience you talked about in this? See, the lesson that came naturally was that. And she had the right to chew my head off. She didn't chew my head off. She just showed me you talked and your mouth wrote a check your life couldn't cash.
That was thorough.
Oh, come on.
That was thoroughly said.
No, Apostle,
Yes.
you know what you did? What you just explained about your light. You were giving all your light out.
Exactly.
Instead of being that beacon of light.
Trying to be something.
And this is good.
Yeah, trying to be something that I was not prepared to be, though I saw an idea that looked good and was a great talking point. But when you are leading people, when Yahweh says, woe unto them who teach you contrary to me, being contrary to him can mean speaking about him, but not accurately and practically having the efficacy manifesting from you of that thing. So you think I'm talking about God, so the people should be? No, he don't need you talking about him. He got enough mouths. He got 7-8 billion mouths all over this planet. He don't need yours. What he needs is a lifestyle. That's how you speak in efficacy of his kingdom.
And that's what they do on here and in real life. They come on and speak thousands of scriptures, but they don't live it.
Don't know nothing about it.
Real life. Yeah, I understand.
Don't know nothing about it. And we got to be careful getting caught up in the antagonizings of individuals who are, we're speaking, trying to be right rather than understanding what is right. Because righteousness is in a letter. It is in an instruction. But the life of righteousness has to be able to handle the letter.
keep dropping these gems.
Y'all understand that? You have to be able to handle, because listen, the truth is righteousness, right? Y'all gonna talk to me on that one. I need an answer.
Yeah.
The truth is righteousness, right? But watch this. The truth hurts.
Yes, it does.
It does.
And you got to know how to handle that hurt when truth hits you.
He keep using you, Apostle. Keep.
So when you keep talking it and you get off of a grand platform, I think I spoke to maybe about 750 people that day. And they bought the cassettes. You know, back then you used the cassettes. I'm a little old, y'all. So we had the cassettes. Y'all to have the MP4s and MP3s then, right? So they would sell the cassettes after. Oh, he really did. And I put it together. I hummed, I hawed, I squalled, I did all the things we do within Christendom under the art of preaching. And I promise y'all. So I have sensed, had Elohim help me understand. He says the next, and this is what happened to me. Whenever I would speak something that was a good conversation, my life would be literally approached by those things I acted like I knew. My patience was tested. Listen, it got to the point where my apostle taught me very simply, and I never forget this. This is something that is a bedrock in why I teach. He said, okay, so you prayed and you told the people to ask for patience, huh? I said, I sure did. She pulled out the passage. She says, never ask for patience. Here's why. Here's why. Listen. I'm sorry, I wouldn't cut you off. I'm just saying, listen, never ask for patience. Patience is going to be a process in your life, no matter what you do. Learning how to handle the issues that you have to utilize patience in is it. Never ask for patience. God, give me patience. Stop. Ask for crop failure for that seed right now.
Come on, Apostle.
Here's why. Because if you ask for patience, the passage of the writ says in the Brit Hadessa, he says, the trying of your faith works patience.
Say that again.
Help me.
Wow.
Tribulations work patience.
So you want patience, you better be prepared for something to try your faith immediately. And usually they come in threes.
Come on now.
What does that mean? Try your faith. Faith comes back. Without faith, it's impossible to please Elohim.
You all on my toes and stuff.
So when you say, God, give me patience to deal with such and so, give me patience to deal with this and patience to deal with that, you are allowing in your voice activated world and kingdom for every trial that will try what faith says you should do and see if you are going to use faith to get through this hurdle, obstacle, or pressure. And y'all know most times, we don't always use faith.
Correct.
Amen.
We fight. And Yahweh didn't tell you to fight. He told you the battle ain't yours. So right there, you are without faith.
Whew.
I'm dropping better gems and nuggets than y'all saying amen to, but it's okay. We're going to keep it moving.
Right.
Ain't but so much noise you're going to.
We're going to keep it. I'm not even asking for noise. I'm just saying, just know. So when I learned that early in ministry, this is why I get nervous before I teach to y'all. I don't care what platform I'm on, and y'all know I'm teaching. There's 7 days in a week. My goodness, I'm 27 times a week am I teaching? So I want to make sure I'm not telling you something I have not lived. So when you ask me a question, I can tell you matter-of-factly, 10 toes down, whatever, square up. This is what it is. I ain't gotta add fluff. I don't have to add any additives to it to dress it up to make it look right. And people don't like that directness because they want it fluffed up. They want the coddle. They want to be held and have their back stroked and while they cry and you hold the tissue to blow their nose. I am not holding the tissue to blow your nose. I will give you a tissue to blow your nose, but I'm not the one holding your nostrils to blow that snot at your hands. I don't know if you got a cold waiting to come out your system. I'm just not going to take the chance. You understand? That was funny. Y'all don't have to. That was funny. Y'all supposed to laugh at that. But anyway.
It is.
But this is what we do. When you know truth and you have lived it, that's the only thing you should ever speak. Don't speak theory to the people of Elohim or people trying to get to know Elohim, because you think, well, if I tell them, it's like telling a little white lie to get them in the building. You know, lies don't come in colors, right?
Amen.
They do not.
But I want to keep their attention, so I'm gonna tell them this because I know they'll attract that. You can't. That's a woe moment. You don't want the woe moment from Elohim.
Sure don't.
I don't.
Woe unto them that teach. So again, that expression from my apostle at that time, those two experiences I had in ministry, young, and having someone overseeing me. And I am a secular success at this time. I'm speaking, y'all call them TED Talks now. I'm talking from Atlantic City to Washington, D.C. to Chicago. I am speaking to managers for Rico, McDonald's, the Atlantic City casinos that I worked for, Sands, Brighton. I'm training managers. So me articulating is not an issue, but guess what? I would use their POS, their SOP, and work from that. When I got into the ability to speak before y'all, I thought I could do what I did over there in the secular world, over here in the Christian world, and I can make up stuff or try to get more information and what here in this right here. You need to already have that stuff oozing out of you before you ever decide to share it. Because if you can't make it repeatedly the same way every time you need to cook that recipe, you ain't ready.
Right. Amen to that. Amen. True story.
So that's what we're talking about. All right, last one to come on with and talk to. Elder Rogers, I think that was you I heard in the background. Moderators, am I right?
Can I say
Yes, sir.
just quickly?
I don't know who's talking.
Rogers.
Okay, moderators, who was that under Rogers saying something?
That was Sam Tanner. You should have known.
Okay.
I heard Prophet Moshe.
All right. Okay, so I got those three. Anybody else got something to say? Because I'm gonna shut it off after this. Anybody else want something they want to say or share or ask a question of?
I can, yes.
Who is that?
Yes, I do. This is Apostle, but Seven Spirits of God.
Hey, Apostle, Seven Spirits of God. We're gonna bring you up. I promise you. So glad that you're here. I just got to get names so I can put them in order. Okay, everybody, we're gonna cut off after Apostle, and we're gonna move on from there. All right, Maj, you got to keep me in queue. I think it's Elder Rogers first.
Yes, sir. Just quickly, when I learned
Nothing you do is quick. You from the country. Come on, stop lying. We going in the Sabbath. We can't go in there lying.
I'm not lying. I'm just telling you the truth. Hey, I learned asking for patience. You don't want to do that. And the correction I got about that was this: ask for wisdom and understanding.
There you go.
How to go through those things.
Very good, Pastor.
Because I said I'd make it quick, so there it is.
Pastor, that was very good. Elder Rogers, she nailed it. And I did not finish that. Thank you for covering my back on that, because you don't ask for patience. You want to ask for wisdom. You ask what Solomon asked for. Give me wisdom and understanding. You ask for patience. You asking for sparring bouts for the next week. Every time you turn around, you got to try to find a way to duck a punch coming, you know? But when you ask for wisdom and understanding, you see the punches coming. Oh, this is why there's this issue. This is why that's there. That this is there where that. So you ask for wisdom and understanding. I hope that made sense. If that made sense, I need to see the board light up with a thumbs up or a heart sign or something, and I need to get a little bit of chatter on that from y'all in the threads. Okay, now who's next? Moderators, who's next? Was it Santana?
Yes, sir.
Santana, go.
I appreciate the time and bless shalom everybody.
Oh, Santana, 1 second. Elder Rogers, Pastor Rogers, y'all know I chide with Pastor Rogers, because she and I we go back way too far. So don't think
just messing with me. That's all.
Yeah, because you slow, but then to come on here and tell everybody you're gonna do something quick, you don't do that. That's all I'm saying. I love you to like.
You shouldn't have said anything about those slow cooks. Okay, now.
Birds of a feather, lady. Birds of a feather. Love you to life. All right, Santana, talk to me.
I just wanted to tell, I thank Yahweh for your everything that you've endured. It took me 40 years to find something like this. I feel privileged. I feel blessed. I feel like I'm in the number. Lord, all I know is every time I've came, that's how I know this is the Lord and our Father Elohim, because every time I come to every teaching, it's like he speaks to me specifically about something that I need. And I'm lonely in this walk in my corner on my street. And you hits it. I just thank God. I thank the Father. I thank Lord, I'm a hush. I just want to tell you, you're in the right vein. Keep doing it. Thank you for doing your job.
But Santana, that's the very point I'm trying to make to every believer. I don't know nothing about you. Matter of fact, I'm gonna be like Paul, and don't take this the wrong way. Paul says, I am determined to know nothing about you except for Yeshua and him crucified. Right? So at the end of the day, that's the proof of what the fivefold ministry should be producing when you are operating for the purpose of building relationships for people with the word. Because the word touches every aspect of every person's life. When we say all of us right now could pray to the Father in this very moment, and we all know that the Father will hear each of us specifically and not lose a beat. So the word of Elohim addresses everybody in the space at the same time in their own dynamic, isolated scenarios.
Yes.
That's how you know the word of Elohim is making an impact. And I hope that that's an understood scenario. So I can't take any credit for that. All I've ever given y'all is the word and my life based on the word, not to make my life look big in your eyes, but to show you how when you don't obey the word, you're going to get dealt with. And when you do obey the word, you're going to get dealt with. And that is what you're experiencing. So also with that is that moment like Elijah, when he was all insecure because I'm the only one doing this right. Yahweh's like, look, there's 7,000 over there who have not bowed. Go over there to them say, I done killed 400 prophets of Baal. And now Jezebel want me dead. I don't know where to go. I can't go back to where I come from. She want me dead. He's like, look, there's 7,000 over here, over yonder hill that have not bowed knee to Baal, who they keep propagating. Go over there. I got you. So Santana, I hope that makes sense and a parallel to what you're discussing.
It does exactly that.
Good. And as you know, you're welcome here. So there's no place you can go and welcome, call it home, whatever you want. And that's what it is. Great. We can take no credit. It's all Elohim's word. That's all we propagate, and it's all his. Moderators, who is next? Santana, thank you. Go. Who's next, mods?
Prophet Roche.
Prophet Roche. Always a pleasure to hear you. How that wonderful wife of yours, Pastor Roche?
Oh, she's fine, but you can skip me. We'll talk in Sabbath. My question is going to take too long.
I want to hear it now. You can't just come in here and tell me how to run my program. I got autonomy. I got a little bit of thing. I can hold a commercial up for a second. What was your question?
You said 7 minutes, 45 minutes ago, so I don't know.
Well, it's my show. What you got, Prophet? I honor and respect you. What you got?
Well, I'll make it Well, so I just got a question for you. That's really not a question.
You from the country too, so stop acting like you're gonna make it quick. Go ahead.
It's gonna be very quick, I promise you. The long one we're gonna wait to Sabbath for. But my question is not a question. Is you said that we were created to till the ground according to the word, correct?
Well, first off, don't be accusing me.
Well, that's what you said.
I read it in the word. Wait a minute. He don't know. You got me upset. Got me 38 hot right now. Listen, shoot, I done found me a Ruger 57. You got me putting my Ruger 57 down to come and mess up with a 38. Wait, no, hold on. No, wait a minute. Let me see here. Hold on. Wait, because I want y'all to get this right. I'm gonna put it on the screen so y'all can see it on Facebook and on YouTube. Look at this. This is what he said. I did not say this. He said this. He said, look, chapter 2, I think it might be. Wait a minute. Let me get it right.
I just want y'all to know I'm not prolonging this.
You're going, but you're not going to be misquoting me either. Talking about you said.
People dragging it out. We see.
Messing around here talking about, man. I can't find it, and I know I'm right near it too. But I know what is it? 2:6. Okay, it's 2:5, but that's good. Here we go. Bereshit. That's Hebrew for the word Genesis. Genesis chapter 2, verse number 4. Again, you know what? We might as well read this all the way down to verse number 5 because we're going into Shabbat. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished and all the hosts of them. And on the seventh day, Elohim ended his work which he had made and rested in the Shabbat, the seventh day, from all of his work which he had made. And Elohim then baruched the seventh day. He chodeshed it. He sanctified it because that in it he had rested from all of his work and which Elohim had created and made. Verse 4. Here we go. These are the generations of the heavens of the earth when they were created in the day that Yahweh our Elohim made the earth and the heavens. Verse 5. Every plant of the field before it was in the earth, every herb of the field before it grew, for Yahweh our Elohim had not caused it to rain upon the earth. Listen, Mr. Prophet Man. And there was not a man to till the ground. Verse 6. But there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. Verse 7, Mr. Prophet Michael Man. And Yahweh our Elohim formed man of the dust of the ground, the breath in his nostrils. He breathed the breath of life. Man became a living soul. And Elohim planted a garden eastward in Eden. And there, Mr. Prophet Man, he put the man whom he formed and out of the ground. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say to you. I didn't say it. He had said it, and I just back his play.
Well, I did say it. Anyway, we move past. So, Mr. Apostle Teacher Man, as you would say, are you trying to teach me that in order for me to be a tiller of the ground? Oh, no, let me rephrase that. Are you trying to tell me that without his word, I can't properly till the ground?
Absolutely. His word is the instrumentation for life.
Oh, wow.
His
so if
word,
I don't have his word and I call myself tilling?
Listen, if you understand what the word is,
gotcha.
The word is quick. The word is powerful. The word is, and they relate to it this way. Paul did a beautiful job in Hebrews. The word is like a two-edged sword. Right? So technically, you are nothing but mud pie. That's all you are. All your body, your teeth, your calcium deposits, your cartilage, your eyes, your sinew, your vascular system, your blood, everything in you is nothing but dirt and water in the hand of Elohim, comprised and produced by his engineering. That's all we are, mud pies walking, no matter how beautiful you think you are, your glasses you wear, your gold, your precious metals, your diamonds, all of that comes from the Adoma of the Eretz. That's the earth. Now, the word of Elohim is what helps you rake and till and prune the ground Yahweh wants you, he made, to take care of. But you need his word to know how to prune it. So if you noticed in that passage we just read in Bereshit chapter 2, he tells you that this is the generations of the heavens and the earth. Now he said there's not a man to till the ground. So man sits with the Father in the seventh day And Yahweh tells man everything he needs to do about the job he was made, not born, made to do. The man was just made. He knew nothing about tilling the ground. He had to sit with the Father. And when you sit with the Father, guess what you get? You get the Father's words of instructions. Now you take those words and you go out, and that is your tool to till the ground. Y'all not gonna act like I ain't just break that down. That's not what we not gonna do today.
Yeah, you broke that down.
Okay.
You broke it. You broke it down.
All right. So you want to talk some more during Sabbath?
Yes, sir. We'll finish that during Sabbath.
Love you.
That's gonna connect to the light, and we ain't got time for that. So.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be fun. You're gonna have to get Eugene on that on Sabbath too. All right. I think I got an apostle with us now. Apostle seven spirits of God. Is he there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Shalom,
Yeah,
sir.
God, thank you. Shalom to you about peace to you and prosperity. This word today, I came in probably in the middle of it, perhaps, or towards the end. But the revelation knowledge that was spoken. See, there's word, head knowledge that people speak quite often. As you spoke, ministers are, falling out, if you will, or burning out, if you will, because they're speaking head knowledge of the word of God, not spirit knowledge, but heart knowledge. Today, lately, but today, I was truly fed with the word of wisdom, the word of knowledge, the word of understanding, but most of all, the word of counsel. The counsel of God spoke through you eloquently today, giving revelation knowledge on us being a light, myself being a light, a beacon, not to pour myself out into them, but to allow the Lord to lead them, and unto getting revelation knowledge of that, to lead them to me, thus saith the Lord. And it was so good that I was like, wow, that's what I've been doing. I've been pouring myself out when I wasn't assigned to pour myself out.
Ooh.
You see, I was only assigned to be a light set up on a hill that they can see in the madness, in the darkness, as an example, a guide to lead. And today, through you, I heard the 7 spirits of God speaking through you. I heard the spirit of wisdom, giving wisdom on how to apply wisdom. You see, I heard the spirit of understanding, how to understand the language, the word, the sound of God. I heard the counsel of God, spirit of counsel speaking through you, to us, to me. I heard the spirit of might, the power of God resonating through you. I heard the spirit of knowledge, giving revelation knowledge on the knowledge of God, not the knowledge of man, going to college, high school, everyday life, but the knowledge of God. I heard that through you. I heard the spirit of the fear of the Lord, the pure love of God from the throne of God, which is his authority. As you were commanding his word as he spoke the Holy Ghost through you today. And I heard the Spirit of the Lord directing you. And it was so, man of God, it was so powerful that we all had a full course meal today. Truly, truly, the 7 spirits of God spoke through you. The 7 manifestations, the 7 operations, the 7 attributes of the Holy Ghost spoke through you. And I received everything. Because that patience bit, I think we all have a lack of patience.
Yeah, that part.
You see?
Yeah.
But the Lord was allowing you to be tempted, tried and tested, just like Jesus the Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, was tempted, tried, and tested. And even today, all of us on here are being tempted, tried, and tested.
Mm-hmm.
And I thank you for being obedient to be led as that vessel of clay. As you lift him up, he'll draw all man and woman unto you. So I thank you very much.
No,
and I'll yield to that.
That's a very one. All I can say is Yahweh alone be praised. And like you say, with the seven spirits, the elements of who Elohim is. That's why the broadcast is as it was many years ago. This is over 2 decades we've been doing this, but it is the proceeding word. Man just can't live by the bread. It must live by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Elohim, by the way, which produced the bread. And so those things that let this meal, as whomever you and whomever else may deem it, that's just his word. And our job, like you said, we can get bent and spent, like we discussed earlier. You come to realize when you stop to think about it, we do one of the mantras we have in this house and other houses I have on Clubhouse as well as YouTube and Facebook, is that within Christendom, we were nurtured to do way too much. And we end up getting burnt out. And Yahweh never intended for us to do half the stuff we do ceremonially or as a part of a job description of the evangelist, the missionary, or whoever else, the bishop, whatever else stuff is, because our job is to just live it. Like you said, I'm supposed to be a light, consistent, standing, so that, because it's going to be dark. Everyone's in darkness. Everyone is in darkness until you turn on the light. And turning on the light means turning to the Father to hear from him who made the darkness, placed us in the darkness, to give us light in the darkness, to see without being negatively impacted by the darkness. And I find, Apostle, that it's a very infrequently taught thing that the light is for us to be where he pointed us, he placed us, and everyone else comes to that light. Watch, you said it in your verse of reference. You said, if I be lifted up from the earth, I will draw all men. It didn't say if I go to all men, I'll light them up. He said, if I be lifted up. Well, who is he? Yeshua HaMashiach, Isaiah 9:6, is the word in flesh. If the word is lifted up, it will draw all men unto that light.
Yes, sir.
And we're so busy trying to be preacher, trying to be the best art of preaching, the best squalor, the best, hey, God will do, and God, and we're mimicking and duplicating everybody in every type of style we can to see which one gets the people moving and gets them more entranced and gets them more sensitized to what we're trying to propagate, that we don't realize all you ever needed was the word. Can I give y'all an analogy, Apostle? I hope you can appreciate my appreciation for you. And this, I'm going to ask you, may I enhance a point you made in your statement?
Please do. And I appreciate you too. I thank God for you.
Yahweh alone be praised. And I'm honored to meet you. Here is the thing I want, and everybody pay attention to this. Some of y'all I'm grown, real grown, right? 6 decades grown. But I want to say this to everybody. Now, this is a true story. Again, early in ministry. Now, you'll get why I'm saying this. I want to make sure y'all catch this. Everybody say, all you need is the word.
All you need is the word.
Now watch this. And if it makes sense, I'll extend this program 10 minutes. If it makes sense to y'all and you feel like you have to comment, because I know it's going to make y'all laugh. Okay. All you need is the word. I was with my mother catering a bridal shower for one of the people in the ministry back in the day. And this was a young couple, 25, 26 years old, getting married. I was already married at that time, and I was just coming back into faith of ministry after leaving Islam. I came back in. I'm sold out, working for Apostle. As you heard me, I was teaching and all that stuff. And so my mom was having a business, her and some of the others, and they would do parties because they were really good at it. My mom was a seamstress. And so anyway, they're having a party, and I'm working the party. The party is a bridal shower. Now, men are not supposed to be there, but because of the janitorial needs and the lifting and heavy lifting, and so I was there, my family, and at that time, my wife. So we're there, we're doing the work, right? And I'm in the back because you can't be out. It's a bridal shower. I'm not supposed to be. I'm a man, so I'm in the back. I'm behind the curtain, behind the thing. And while I'm cleaning up, they get to the part of the party where I'm serving food, yada, yada, doing all the stuff you're supposed to do, cutting the cake, big old cake, all the ladies in there, they got the tight tiara on the bride and they got the sash on her, and everybody else, ooh, hallelujah. And they got the good Fred Hammond music, Kirk Franklin dance. Well, they do line dances still, y'all. I don't get it. But anyway, so I'm in there doing my thing, and they're having the party. I'm invisible, right? Because I know you're at a bridal shower. You ain't supposed to be there. Men don't be at bridal showers. So they then go to start opening up the gifts on the gift table, part of the program. And you see these exotic things come out of this gift. One of them got a ledger. I remember the first thing was a journal. I'm like, okay, that's cool, right? And I'm sitting in the back and everything is done. I've got everything cleaned up. All I need to do is pick up the trash from the gifts that they're going to open. The food is put away. The kitchen is clean. I mopped the floor. They're doing this last part. So I got nothing to do. I'm just sitting on the other side of the wall listening. The people who came to the party gave their gifts. She opened up the gifts, all of them. There were, somebody thought in advance and bought some, baby wipes and bottles and stuff like that. In case you're going to need them. Yeah, we're going to baby. Woo! And then someone else said, well, this is how you're going to make them babies. So they bought these crotchless negligees, and they bought the fluffy flip slippers with the little cat hair. Okay, on them. Bedazzled. It's a bridal. It is. It's a bridal. It's a typical one. And so Christian women with these exotic Victoria's Secret issues being undressed, again, men don't be there. Women are not blushing, but they're like, ooh, whatever. And somebody for a prank brought a whip and something else related to the bed is undefiled, right? Okay. I'm like, well, the whip is not I don't get the whip, but okay, that sounds like some personal stuff. You should not have gift wrapped that. Anyway, y'all still following?
We following the Apostle.
We're following.
Now here's the catch. Y'all see all of that, right? On the bridal party, right? And then they did all this other stuff. This 70-year-old educator of my life and one of the best theologians I've ever met was sitting back with me, and like she said, watch this. Her name was Cora Thomas. She's 70 years old, happily married in a life that she's built with her husband all these years, and she's 70. And she comes out, she's short. She's about 5, probably 5 even. And she's healthy. She's spry. She comes out with a little, and see, I'm from Philly. So up in Philly, we had these little oils in a vial. about the size of my finger, your index finger. She says, watch this, Minister Jones. She walks out from the kitchen with me and she says, y'all did all of that? And I'm like, yeah. She says, well, I got my gift. Oh, let me have your gift. Oh, great. She walks out shaking this vial. She says, now I saw all this negligee and Victoria's Secrets. Clearly she can't keep a secret, but here's the deal. You just put this after you get out of the shower, a dab of it behind your ear on both sides and on your wrist. And then you put it on the dresser and you walk out. He don't want to fight through all that stuff to get to you. This woman just dropped wisdom. I'm sitting in the room. All I can say, listen, all you need is the word. All that other dress that he got to fight to get through will frustrate him or her trying to get it off. Now she done cut herself. He done cut himself. He done got all that. We do way too much. Somebody say, all you need is the word.
All you need is the word.
All you need is the word.
Sound like that didn't cause for an extension of this program.
Oh, all you need is the word.
All you need is the word.
And so she just,
All you need is the word.
Is the word.
she said, just present your body with this fragrance or like simile, and you good. All that other stuff y'all got to go through, and that's all cute, but that ain't what you need is this in the discussion. She said, I'm 50 years married, say, trust me on this. All you need is the word.
That's
All
powerful.
you need is the word.
So powerful.
All right, we're going to get y'all out of here now. It's time to get going. Listen, those of you who are already in your Shabbat, I pray that Yahweh will bless you in your Shabbat. Those of you who want to join us back for some studies on the morrow from Friday at sundown till Saturday at sundown, EST, we will be here from Friday at sundown until Saturday at sundown all day. Well, not all day, but we'll be back in and out of here. So just like the page, Darash Kingdom Ministries. This you're in right now is the Proceeding Word page. If you like the Darash Kingdom Ministries on Facebook, on Clubhouse, go to that room, like it. It'll let you be notified when we go live on Shabbat to open our Bibles and talk strictly about Torah. None of these other elements we just laughed and joked about today will be a part of that. But we will talk practically about how to live the word and be pleasing to the Father. For without faith, which is the word, it is impossible to please Elohim. Father, I thank you for the opportunity to share with these your people on our Fun Friday, Sabbath keeping, finding purpose, part 3 conclusion. Man really can't live by bread alone, but your word made bread, made water, made everything we need. So thank you for giving us your word. Help us now to gravitate to it. Help us now to literally let it marinate upon us so we can properly handle the truth that it is and not get hurt, but become edified. This is earnestly our prayer in the mighty and in the matchless name of Yahushua HaMashiach, our Lord, our Savior, our King, our peace, and all that we know to be in life. In the mighty name of Yeshua HaMashiach, we pray and say, Amen. Well, Zion, it's my joy and pleasure to be with you guys. Y'all know that I love y'all to life eternal. We're going to let you guys get going. Remember, without faith, it is impossible to please Elohim.
If you need truth, this is the place for you. Don't need to complicate it. It's best to keep it basic. Open the book, the word itself approved. He's Alpha and Omega, the answer since the early ages. What you should do is learn about the greatest. Just so you know, our door is always open. Let's study together instead of debating. Share our differences. Let love heal all that's broken.
Thank you for tuning in today. I hope that this message has been a blessing to your very life and your soul, and more importantly, your walk with the King. Well, we have come to the end. I hope that you would consider becoming either a partner with us in ministry, or if you're not already a kingdom citizen, consider becoming one.
By doing that, you can sow into this ministry so that we are able to continue to teach this type of ministry at a grand scale. Join us on all of our social media platforms and visit our webpage to make your contributions sure. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Shalom Aleichem.
If you need truth, this is the place for you. Don't need to complicate it. It's best to keep it basic. Open the book, the word itself approved. He's Alpha and Omega, the answer since the early ages. What you should do is learn about the greatest. Just so you know, our door is always open. Let's study together instead of debating. Share our differences. Let love heal all that's broken.